Our social media platforms are 3FM 927. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Felicity. Can you hear us?
Yeah, good morning, Coach. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
By God's grace, I'm better today than yesterday.
Great. Talk to us. Tuesday, how is it looking like for you?
Yes, thanks so much. Good morning to our dear viewers and listeners. It's looking hazy and dry over most portions of the country. We expect visibilities to range between 1 kilometer and 8 kilometers across the sector. Some portions over the southern sector is having misty conditions this morning. We expect it to give way by 8 to 9 a.m. We expect rain also today for Accra, some parts of Accra, Takwa, those in parts of Ashanti, Western North also. We expect some showers for them today, so we should watch out. But there's not any meaningful rain that's open distraction, but then we just need to get some small umbrellas to protect ourselves if we want to do an outdoor activities. For the fisher folks, the state of the sea is calm, but then we have a rain and thunder clouds over the ocean. So fisher folks that want to do deep fishing, they need to watch that thunderstorms. For water, it's going to cool. for any activities for today. But then night to tomorrow morning, they need to watch out for misty and fog patches. That is likely to affect visibility. Temperatures will be 38.
Felicity, can you hear me, please?
35, 37 for the middle and the
Hello?
transition. 33 for the coastal stream.
Okay, Felicity, thank you so much. But we really had trouble hearing you. But we all trust that the weather will be kind to us. We'll protect ourselves, and then eventually, by the end of the day, we'll get home safe and sound. Thank you, regardless, for speaking to us this morning, Felicity. Felicity Afian, you're speaking with us there. A review segment beginning with some online portals, and of course we'll start with 3news.com. Some of the stories you find on 3news.com this morning. Former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to appear in U.S. court today over immigration case. To get the details, of course, also 313 buses were declared unserviceable and sold amongst cronies in October 2020. That's according to the Metromass Deputy MD, and it's in the Popular Today segment. Deputy Education Minister directs GES to take action on video of SHS students displaying charms. Deputy Education Minister directs GES to take action on video of SHS students displaying charms. Also, students allegedly withdraws 24,849 cedis from GCB Bank ATMs using stolen cards. Students allegedly withdraws 24,849 cedis from GCB Bank ATMs using stolen cards. Transport Chaos Accra National Cadet Corps steps in. Lawyer Martin Pebu promises to defend apprehensive Ken Ofori-Atta. These are some of the stories you find on 3news.com. Some politics also on 3news.com. NPP flag bearer race. Elect someone who is not easily exposed to attacks from the NDC. That's according to a political historian. Also resigned by January 31 or we will strike. UTAG UG demands of GTech DG and his deputy. Resigned by January 31 or we will strike. UTAG, University of Ghana, demands of GTech Director General and his deputy. Contractors on 73-kilometer Takrady Cape Coast Big Push project begin mass demolition of temporary structures. You can also find that on 3news.com. Also, in the Western region, man arrested for allegedly stabbing woman in both eyes with scissors at Seshi Abrokofe. An unfortunate story there. So these are some of the stories you'd find on 3news.com. And of course, there is, as always, the cartoons and tilapia corner. Some interesting images you'd find there. From 3news.com, let's head straight to City Newsroom. And these are some of the stories captured on the website. Government to probe auction of 300 Metro Mass Transit buses. And on the top stories this morning on City Newsroom, Ofori-Atta to appear in U.S. court over immigration case today. At Dabraka gold robbery, 3 more suspects picked up in Ashaiman. GPRT to hold crunch meeting January 20 over commercial vehicle ID tags. Otumfo and Stu Dasebra Osebon to the third as Mampong Hene. NPP flag bearer race. Aduchum's campaign mind-blowing, victory assured. That's according to the spokesperson of the campaign. And GTech is undermining university autonomy. UTAG UG. Transport Minister reject claims of non-performance. These are some of the stories you'd find on citynewsroom.com this morning. These two stories, they are running through 3news.com and City Newsroom. Let me read to you the detail of that story, and of course, we'll have a quick conversation on the back of that. And I'm talking about the headline, "Resign by January 31 or we will strike. UTAG UG demands of GTech DG and his deputy." The story on 3news.com is by Eric Mensah Ayite. And this is the story that the University Teachers Association of Ghana, the University of Ghana branch, UTAG UG, has called on the Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Abdullahi Jinapo, and his deputy, Professor Augustine Oklu, to resign by the 31st of January 2026. According to the association, failure to heed their call will result in an industrial action. Let's have a conversation on this. Let's speak with Dr. Jerry Joe Harrison, his secretary of UTAG UG. Doc, a very good morning to you. Thank you for making time to speak with us this early morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Great. What is this we're hearing that you're asking? I mean, by you, I'm talking about UTAG UG. You're asking the deputy DG of GTech as well as the Director General himself to resign. I'm talking about Professor Ahmed Abdullahi Jinapo and his deputy, Professor Augustine Oklu, to resign by the 31st of January. Why?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to all our listeners. I think that as we outlined in our statement, there have been just one too many incompetent actions taken by these people. Universities are choking under their unwarranted reach, and we feel that that is not a way to go. If you go to all the campuses, there is so much uncertainty, there is low morale, because these individuals continue to take decisions that we feel are outside the scope of what GTech was set to do. And so, given what has happened and how things stand, I think their position has become untenable. That is why we are saying they should step down, because they are definitely leading GTech in the wrong direction.
If you say they are stepping out of their mandate, what exactly have they done?
Well, under the GTech Act, GTech is required to play several roles, including advisory and regulatory roles. What appears to be happening is that they are confused as to what advisory role is and what regulatory role is. And so every now and then they engage in administrative overreach, and they are doing everything to manage universities in Ghana.
Doc, administrative overreach, do you have a few examples you can share with us? What have they done?
Certainly. So you not long ago, last year, GTech wrote a letter to the University of Cape Coast asking the Vice Chancellor to step aside for the Pro-Vice Chancellor to take over. That is completely out of line. GTech has no power, whether advisory or regulatory, to ask the Vice Chancellor of a university to step aside and for the Pro-Vice Chancellor, to take over. So that's one thing. I mean, secondly, recently GTech has been issuing instructions on post-retirement contracts, denying people of post-retirement contracts, and all that. All these are administrative overreaches. Councils of universities are set up by law. And if there is even a breach, as a regulator, what you do is that you draw their attention to the actions that they've taken and what laws it breaches, and then require them to rectify those. You don't write reversing those decisions. In governance terms, it is wrong and sends a wrong signal. Under no circumstance can GTech say that they are more competent at running universities than the councils that have been put in place by government with representation from GTech itself. And so these clearly are breaches of the law. They are an affront to academic freedom, which is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution. It undermines institutional autonomy, which is a partner requirement for driving the national agenda of this country. And if we allow these individuals to continue to be at the helm of affairs, things are going to get worse. And I'm afraid higher education institutions are going to be in trouble. But even worse still, the core mandate of GTEC in promoting higher quality higher education has been completely abandoned. I'm not sure the last time you heard that GTEC has secured, say, funding for infrastructure or for research or for something in any higher education institution. They keep chasing frivolities, and we think that that is not how the tertiary education space is supposed to be managed. And these, I am not even sure if the board of GTEC actually agrees with many of these decisions that these individuals took. And so we have come to the point that, look, it is untenable for them to continue to be at the helm of affairs. Even worse still, even accreditation, which is one common. If you look at how accreditation has been handled, it's terrible. Look, under Amejinabo and Augustino Klu, accreditation processes have become money-making tools. Institutions are paying so much money just to accredit programs. How is accreditation a money-making tool? How should accreditation be a money-making tool? And so you ask yourself, as a government-subvented institution, where does GTEC expect institutions to find those monies and pay to them? And who do they account to? So we have taken the position that, given everything that is happening, they are not the right people, to lead. Their temperament are not good enough. Their relationship with managers of public education have been very adversarial and disrespectful sometimes. If you saw the letter that Amejinapo wrote to the University of Ghana, requesting that a decision taken by council be reversed or face serious regulatory sanctions. This was in connection with supposed 25% increase in school fees. As the regulator, all that you needed to do was to call the managers or management of University of Ghana and verify whether these media reports were accurate. But look, because they are always in adversarial mode, he wrote a letter based on this false reportage, requesting for University of Ghana to reverse a decision it has not taken. Now, in the end, it turned out to be a hoax, and he has not had the temperament or the decorum to even apologize to the council of the university and to management of the University of Ghana. This is definitely not how we expect the regulator to behave. And I don't think this is really what GTEC is about. It is these individuals who are incompetent, first of all, and have lost their way in regulating and accrediting higher education institutions. They have to go.
Is this a relationship that is broken beyond repair?
It is absolutely broken beyond repair, because as a UTAG, we have engaged these individuals on many occasions on various aspects of these regulatory overreaches. But their posture has always been arrogance, insisting that they have the power to do whatever they are doing. But, I mean, they're not the only ones who can read, the law. There are other people who also are lawyers and understand these legal terminologies. And so many a time, when we point out to them that these powers that you are arrogating to yourself actually do not exist, because for as long as what you're doing impinges on academic freedom, the 1992 Constitution does not guarantee you that power. It doesn't matter, because something that is enshrined in the Constitution cannot be undone by an act of Parliament. That's not how the framers of the Constitution envisaged it. And so, in the exercise of judicial authority, capriciousness is not the way to go. But many times they've arrogated the power to themselves and acted in ways that have negatively affected the morale of all campuses. I mean, I can tell you, you just call, people in confidence, and they will tell you that nobody's happy with the way they are doing things. And so we, after having engaged them on many occasions,
right,
we have come to the conclusion that it is impossible for us to continue to work with them.
Doc, we'll leave it here, but we'd like to also say that we're trying to reach GTEC as well, so that we can have their side of your story or how they respond to these concerns that UTAG UG is raising. Doc, before you leave, is this a position by UTAG UG or the entire UTAG umbrella?
Well, I mean, we have taken the lead, but we know that everybody in UTAG is with us on this matter. I don't see how anybody in UTAG would not support this call, because in our engagement with them, we have done that as a unified UTAG body. We have done that as UTAG UG, and certain individuals who are UTAG members have been called to intervene in some of these decisions that have been taken that negatively affect people, and none of them has been heeded. So I have no doubt at all that all the campuses of UTAG are with us, and I'm sure that in due course others will issue statements in support of what we have done.
Doc, I'd like to thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I'm grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you, too.
Dr. Jerry Joe Harrison is Secretary of UTAG UG. They want GTEC, why they want the Director General of GTEC and the Deputy Director General of GTEC. Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, why they want the Director General and the Deputy Director General to go, to resign, else they will strike. We'll see how that travels. And of course, we'll be updating you here on 3FM and on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7, also on all our social media. Also saying this on Ghana Connection with alleged immigration violations, and the court appearance follows his recent detention by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And we're talking about ICE, which has indicated that Mr. Foriata overstayed his visitor visa and has consequently lost his legal status to remain in the country. Well, according to ICE, the former minister's visa was not merely expired, but was formally revoked by U.S. authorities in June 2025. And this position has been confirmed by Ghana's Deputy Attorney General Justice Ramsay, who rejected earlier claims that the issue was a routine visa overstay. The Deputy Attorney General Justice Ramsay has stated that the revocation of the visa means Mr. Foriata has effectively been living in the United States without a valid immigration status. Further disclosed that Ghanaian authorities collaborated closely with U.S. law enforcement agencies in the processes that led to the former minister's detention. There's the possibility of an extradition to Ghana. Officials have suggested that the court proceedings could determine whether Mr. Foriata will be extradited to Ghana, where he is wanted by the Attorney General's Department and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. He's being sought for investigations relating to alleged financial improprieties, including matters connected to the SML deal and the National Cathedral project. And Justice Ramsay has hinted that the former minister's return to Ghana could happen sooner than expected. Well, his legal team, of course, has been speaking. In a public notice issued on January 7, Mr. Foriata's lawyers in the United States, Minka Primosebonsu, Bruce Cartling and partners, they confirmed his detention by ICE, but insisted that he is cooperating fully with the authorities. Is expected to provide greater clarity on his immigration status and any potential extradition proceedings. And of course, here on 3FM 92.7, we're bringing you all those details from what will happen in the United States today. In fact, we have our reporters, we have our correspondents there, and this is a subject of key national interest, and we will update you. In the meantime, lawyer Martin Kpebu has promised to defend apprehensive Ken Oforiatta. Lawyer Martin Kpebu has promised to defend Ken Oforiatta, and this is the story captured on 3news.com that a private legal practitioner law expert, Martin Kpebu, known for human rights advocacy, he has elected himself to defend the rights of former Finance Minister Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta. The former Finance Minister, who is perceived to have absconded, is expected to be extradited from the United States to Ghana to face prosecution of alleged corruption-related charges. However, Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Smith, disclosed on key points that he has been informed that Ken Oforiatta is apprehensive of how he would be treated upon his return to Ghana, hence his reluctance in an assertion which was corroborated by Kofi Bentil, who also was a panelist on the show. Well, in his reaction to the revelation, Martin Kpebu pledged to defend the rights of the former finance minister and ensure that he is giving the due justice as he has done for others. He recalled that some months ago when the state took on Kwame Bafo, aka Abronye, the MPP chairman for the Bono region, over his utterances and was maltreated, he and Daniel Domelevo, they stood up for him. Though people were not happy, he was defending Abronye, who had insulted President Mahama and the IGP and all that. So Martin Kpebu says that he's ready to defend Ken Oforiatta and that he has nothing to fear. Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Smith, he has also told us what family of Ken Oforiatta fear, that he may not be treated well, but he assured him that everybody will be treated according to the law. And Martin Kpebu has added another bit, that he has elected himself to defend Ken Oforiatta should he return to Ghana, to ensure that his rights are not abused in any way or form. Sixers don't always joining us. Sixers, good morning.
Crosby.
Why is your voice down? Why are you sounding like that?
You said Kpebu say what? The thing is fall, it's not erect.
Martin Kpebu says he will defend Ken Oforiatta, so he should not fear anything.
Well, he's a lawyer.
3FM,
yes, he's a human rights lawyer for that matter.
Not just because he's a human rights lawyer. Every lawyer is bound by oath to defend all manner of persons to the best of their ability.
Leave the thing alone. You can pull another microphone if you want. Okay.
No, it's not standing.
Pull another microphone.
No.
Okay. Oh goodness. You are talking about Martin Kpebu.
Yes. He's a lawyer and he's bound to represent persons, not necessarily because he believes the person or persons he's representing are innocent of the charges brought against them, but because he is supposed to ensure that no matter how guilty the person is or appears to be, due process is followed. The person gets his day in court. The case is not prejudiced. Justice is, as they say, manifestly seen to be done. And so it may come as a surprise or as news that Martin Kpebu, who has been screaming at the top of his voice from the mountaintop, where's Ken Oforiatta? Kisia Jabe must go. He allowed Ken Oforiatta to bolt and all of those. Now he's suddenly turning around to say that he's willing to. It's. I'm just trying to say that position is very understandable from a lawyer. It's not necessarily because he believes in the innocence or guilt of the former finance minister. It's because as a lawyer he's supposed to. It is his duty to also ensure that the thing called justice, that thing that everybody looks for, that in the quest of the Republic to get justice from the former finance minister for members of the Republic,
Right.
due process is not sidestepped. And that the former finance minister is not prejudged even before he gets to have his day in court. And that finally he gets to have his day in court. So those are essential tenets of our criminal justice system that
Right.
every lawyer is bound to defend. So I think we should understand the Leonard Martin Pebu in that context, so that we don't blow it out of proportion.
It's a big day in courts today in the United States. Of course, we'll be speaking with some experts on the matter, so we'll know the possible outcomes of an engagement like this, and then what impact it could have on anything. Already, we understand that these are very different things happening. Whatever is happening in the U.S. is exclusive of what is happening in Ghana, or the efforts Ghana is making to get him to come back into the country. Although,
I don't understand what you're saying.
so what I'm saying is that Ghana's extradition request or the extradition processes Ghana started with the U.S.
Yes.
is different from the challenges he's facing with his visa.
Oh, yes.
But the outcome of what is happening in the U.S. could play into the game of Ghana, such that if he's deported,
Yes.
then it means he will have to, well, unless he has other places to go, it means he may have to come home. And then the OSP and the Attorney General, of course, they'll be waiting at the
So
airport.
like America will say you are an illegal alien. So
I mean, he already is an illegal alien there.
no, they claim he is. That is why he's going to court.
I understand your point. Continue.
So they will say, okay, we don't want to go away from our country. Then he will get up and say he's going to Venezuela.
Yes.
No, once they decide, make that decision,
They'll bring
deportation.
you.
It's called deportation.
They'll carry you and bring
They'll
you.
carry you in shackles.
Okay.
It's not a good picture to picture.
This Atoke Skyman Airbender, he says that today should have been declared a dry fasting day, 6 to 6. Somebody on Facebook, he says that Ghanaians should be fasting today, 6 to 6. Because Ken Oforiatta is going to court in the US today.
So the fast is for what?
It's for
him to lose.
That one, unless you ask him. Skybender, tell us, what's the purpose for the fast? What will be the purpose for the fast? Is it for Ken Oforiatta to lose, or for the US to win, or for... So yes, that is the latest concerning Ken Oforiatta, and then the happenings in the US. So
Ghanaians, well, as much as it's become the former finance minister case has become very personal for some Ghanaians. Very personal because they are direct sufferers of
his actions and
the
inactions.
decisions and indecisions and actions and inactions of the former appointee. We should also, be minded by due process that we may want to hang the man before we judge him, but it is important that he gets to be judged before he is hanged, so that we don't. What if they come and tell you that is it in the SML case, for instance, that he wasn't the one who authorized the thing? You see, so technically he may have won the case, but you have already crucified him in the public domain. That is why for all of us doing the public commentary on these matters, we have to be restrained, not be emotional, be very logical and reasonable with the commentaries that we make on these matters. Because as I think just 3 months ago, the law is the law was a favorite, the favorite rhyme of all Ghanaians. The law remains the law. So I'm not saying that he will be freed on technicalities, and I use the word freed advisedly. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying that there is a certain process that every suspect and accused person must go through, and that process is controlled by the laws that you and I have agreed that they are our laws. We have agreed for them to govern us. It's not the learned Dominic Ayene or the learned Justice Remsai or the learned Chief Justice who will do anything. There's a certain process, there's a certain procedure, there's a certain code, all of which must be followed through, which actually is the reason you would hear somebody like Martin Pebu saying he will defend the rights of the suspects at this point. And okay, charges have been brought, right?
Yes.
They are accused. So
1, 2, 3, 78.
78. Not be small. So if they don't get you here, they'll get you there.
I think for
Hey.
for Skyman Airbender, this is what Skyman Airbender. You know, there's a song. It's called Not Today. So that is what Kenneth Friata and Ghanaians and USIs and everybody. That is what they are expecting.
That's the song you are all singing.
That's what they are.
Today,
singing.
not today.
Not today. Friata, and then what is happening in the United States today. But tomorrow too would follow up on the case of Sedina Ationu Tamaklo. You know that case?
Oh yes, I reported on it in its early days in court. In my previous employment, I was directly on the beats, and I recall the hesitation of the judge, the learned ladyship, Ifiasewa Asariboche, her hesitation to, initiate or accept the trial in absentia mode. Because I recall one of her statements in open court on one of the occasions that we needed to follow through, exhaust all the opportunities that the law allows for an accused person to physically be present in the court before we then begin to say that we are trying this person in absentia. The learned lady was more particular about the kind of precedent that case would probably set. Once you are dealing with government appointees and politicians and political appointees, you have to be careful that you don't open a window that would later be used to chastise political opponents.
Everybody will run through that window. And so her ladyship was more interested in ensuring that if the law says serve the accused, has the accused been served? We can't find the accused. We can't find the accused to bring back. Okay, are there other ways that you can serve the accused or means through which you can bring back the accused? Right.
Substituted service, have you used that? How about the people who stood surety? Have you dealt with that? Have you brought them to answer before the court? Where is your client, and why should the law not take its course against you for not being able to produce the person you stood surety for? So all of those processes, the court insisted that they be exhausted at the time. And up to the point that I followed the case, I think that they had been exhausted. The other thing we also know, from all the back and forth that has happened, is that immediately the judgment was passed, the office of the Attorney General, then Attorney General,
Right.
Godfred Dame, the learned Godfred Dame, started the processes to have her brought back to serve the present term.
10 years.
10 years.
You know, the interesting thing too is that she was convicted on 78 charges.
Oh, hers too.
Yes, hers too, 78.
Ken Ofori-Atta is also 70.
Ken Ofori-Atta is also 78. Yeah.
Too short. 78.
Yes, it happened in April 2024 to 10 years imprisonment in hard labor. So for her, you can describe her as a what? Because she has been...
She's a convict.
So she's a convict, okay.
You hear the term convicted felon. So the court is done with her.
And then hers was, for those who may not be familiar with the case or may have forgotten a little, causing financial loss of 93 million cedis to the state. How much is Ken Ofori-Atta's? Okay, Sedina is 93 million cedis to the state. And then she's been in the United States. People are saying she's been hiding in the United States since 2021 after she refused to return to the country to face trial when she was granted leave by the court to travel for a medical checkup. And you know that, just like what you're talking about, it was just a few hours a medical leave. But, I mean, she took advantage of the medical leave and then...
The window was tiny.
She took advantage of the medical leave and then she left. So 2 other people also involved. High Court was presided over by Justice Efiasewa Saribotwe. She's a very popular High Court judge.
No, she's been promoted.
Right.
In fact, I think at the time she was... No, she was High Court.
Yes, at the time she was a High Court judge.
Because the coup plotters case, she was one of the 3 justices who presided over, and she was a Court of Appeal judge with additional responsibility for the High Court, that particular case.
So 93 million cedis. Madam Tamaklo was sentenced to a total of 21 years imprisonment in hard labor for stealing 10 years. For stealing, okay, that's 10 years. Causing financial loss to the state, that's 3 years. Causing loss to public property, that's 2 years. Improper payment, 6 months. Unauthorized commitment resulting in a financial obligation for the government, 6 months. Money laundering, 3 years. And then contravention of the Public Procurement Act, 2 years. And then she was fined a total of 78,000 cedis for the offenses. And in default, she will serve another 6 years in jail. So these are... that's the detail of the case concerning Madam Sedina Tamaklo, who will be in court in the U.S. yesterday. But Ken Ofori-Atta is in court today. Sisters, okay, you can't go there before time, but of course, we have people there. If you could have gone there right now, I would have pushed you there so that...
Oh, all you have to do is just fly me.
Will you go and come back?
Why wouldn't I come back?
Okay, I just wanted to get your response.
I'm a Ghanaian.
So that
I was born a Ghanaian, I will die a Ghanaian. For me, there's nothing like not come back.
Ken Ofori-Atta is not Ghanaian. He's what? He's Togolese or something.
No, you see, I'm one of those Ghanaians who we've never been fascinated about running away. You see. I think at a point, every young man's decision or aspiration is to run away from the country. I mean, I've never been fascinated about that.
Okay.
I've always wanted to be in my country. I'm not saying I don't want to travel. I mean, I can travel and come. You see, when Auntie B and Amma Lawson decide that, oh, you're tired, you need to take a 1-week vacation, go somewhere and come. And they say, okay, maybe we have some deal with some hotel in the U.S. Would you want to go and spend 1 week? Why not? I will go and come. Okay. But to get a bag and baggage and say I am leaving the country, not thinking about coming back. No, I'm not one of those young people.
Abian, where you go? Will you come?
So this World Cup, the World Cup,
yes.
We want to go and watch and come back.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's a business deal, you go, you strike the deal, then you come back.
You know, when
home is always home for me.
When Ken Ofori-Atta was going, he told OSP that you come back.
Mekwaba.
Same thing you are here, you are telling.
Oh, no. We haven't had conversation, but all those who know me very well in our conversation, Crosby, you seem to have. I'm a Pan-Africanist.
Yes, you going. Well, okay.
I believe I believe in Africa. I believe in Ghana. I don't think there's any reason why any Ghanaian would want to run away from Ghana. They shouldn't be.
Okay.
I mean, yes, there are opportunities elsewhere. You go, you tap into those opportunities, then you come back, or you bring them back.
People want to go, they'll come back maybe after like 20 years. That one they have gone and they have come. And that one is
no. After 20 years, you haven't gone and come.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
After 20 years, who should be keeping home for you for 20 years?
The 1 week that you want to go, who should keep home for you?
It's called a vacation.
No, 20 years.
It's a vacation.
I'm on,
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
Oh, no.
Rest. I'm on a rest for 20 years. Frederick will go and come back, but he will come back after like 60 years or something. You don't want to go anywhere. Will you even get?
You see, the place that you want to run to is looking like that because, well, also as a Pan-Africanist, this argument, I will be the same person to dispute it. People built that place that you are eager to go to. And the funny thing about all of this for me is that you put a Ghana man in Accra, they will say, don't park here, he will park there. They will say, don't throw rubbish here, he will throw it there. They will say, don't trade on this pavement, he will trade there. They will say, before you enter the bus, pay. You go and tell the conductor, wait there. In the US, in the UK that you are so ambitious to go to, you can't do any of those things there. You see, and we've always had the Rwandan conversation. Even in Rwanda that is an African country, you can't litter anywhere. So you pick a Ghana man who is littering all over Accra, go and put him, the moment he steps down from the airport, for some funny reason, the things that he would have done in Accra, he no go do them for them. So also build your own. Let people also run to you.
The trotro drivers who have been charging extra in Accra,
they cannot do that. They will say, we are going to Medina. Then you say, no, you are going to 37. Because you don't want to charge a direct fare, because you want to do a Kalebule. We are back to those days. So if you know our history, those words, Kalebule, it came from somewhere. And those are the same things that we are doing today. You know that you are not supposed to, there was something called profiteering. In fact, there was even a law on profiteering.
So yesterday, the Transport Ministry met with these drivers, the driver unions, and then they proffered some solutions. In the coming days, it will kick effect. It will begin, and then we'll get to know the impact. Because as we speak, it has not happened. In fact, yesterday, a lot of people struggled to get vehicles. I passed through Circle in the evening, and so you see, under the overhead, around the road leading to the Dome, the Kwabinya, the Achimota, we had like half of the road occupied by people, and then drivers will come and this driver, this mate, they load to Kwabinya.
It is your area, Trotro.
You know the number. You have used
but on this occasion, they tell you, no, we are not going there.
You have used it to stake Lotto before, but you tell you that they are going to Achimota.
If you sit.
If you sit. If you not sit, go. So a lot of people were there. Like half of the road was full of people, and it is not something that is also very safe. I think we should look at the staging system again, because in as much as we're waiting for vehicles, anything can happen. And based on just the sheer numbers at the station, well, by the side of the road, if any car loses brake, loses control, is running through hundreds of people, tens of people, and the news will be very, very different. So it is something that we should look at.
We'll declare National Day of Mourning.
And then but their lives will still be lost. So but the Transport Ministry says it is working on it. GPRT was there, concerned drivers were there, GRT, CC were there, all the other transport unions, so they were there. and they shared various opinions, proffered solutions to the crisis. New buses. They are also asking that the municipal assemblies, the assembly people, they clear the streets so that the traffic situation will not be very bad. According to some of the drivers, the traffic is compounded by, some traders who are still selling in the middle of the road. So
Trotro drivers are blaming traders for traffic.
Yes. So
you want me to mention Zongo Junction again? The traffic there is caused by 100% by the Trotro drivers.
They are telling their side of the story. You can go and ask the traders. The traders will tell them it's their own.
Is it the pot calling the kettle black, or what is the expression?
They say that until something learns to talk, the story of the hunt, it will always favor the hunter. So because they are the ones they are asking, they'll tell you who is bothering them.
A Trotro driver will park right in the middle of the road to load, and is ready to insult any other person behind him who is honking at him.
Anyways, it's now time to pick a few calls. 0559242717 or 0556910154. Call us, let's hear from you what you think. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nobel.
Oh, yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. And
Great.
you?
I'm fine, thank you. Talk to me.
Thank you very much. My name is Ajana Wan from Dobe Kwabija. Let me say good morning to my MC, Mr. Edmond Rambo, and my MP, Madam Elena Baku, and another MP, whatever it is, and Managing Bureau. In fact, former finance minister, you have to do the needful. Even if the court can prevent him not to come in as a human being once he's educated, she surrender and say, I am coming to my homeland Ghana and face the law. Other than that, even if he dies and he becomes dead carcass, we will put him before the court with his grave to set an example for other persons to learn from me that you cannot take government property even if it's alleged. Because you should come. If you know you are clean, come home and face the law. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajanawan. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
You did Mr. Nokore Asam Kasafrika, the DMP to the Warren Dasujina.
I'm listening.
Opening my name for Akonya Sunchia on Abu Akuga, Eki Kufa Yoku, Madi Jibri, and a Joe Ashama, Mr. Brown. Now I'm to the regional organizer, and I'm young Papa Laji Said Ahmed, still soldier in a Mishra, with my panty. Opening Cassia, yeah, bomb pie, sir, and their court to now almost call our US one. And Yema and Kuntia Kenufuriata, and I intimate Fanimo Memo. No ultimate major and Mara Anu. Na, Sububiara, a big bono, and also face the law. Na, it me and 5 years and 2 years. Sanso e ma me said na semaku ono so yeso ochina saa le ono so ne pese ono so yemfa ne mra ne yemfa ne mejira mra no na pepepe ye enkoso ne mo yesa to ni jinwa enipa no so wo Ghana no omo ya dos omo dos so fi omo abuchiri etu ayire na adwuma no mu din ni yemfa se wu se process ya akoso wo Ghana no ampa so far so good ni onye rehemu papa bi ewo ni mu. Nesento, and you mentioned Chin Nasi, yes, Reno, Attorney General. And you did dream our Maymuno, Amagoso. But you told Basketball 2,500 a day. A day. No more from Run and Yajuma. Now, Chrono, you to us here. We'll be to us.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Open Ekase.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking the encounter with me for our studio.
Encounter, so. Talk to me this morning.
Nana Amwakwa, Mikatafi S boy, Ewo Ayesuan constituency. Unabema, who show now, you know, Yama Many Papanama, our market, I will meet you until you move about shoes, what your local language, no so much to the Yakan Sampa, about months and Yansa enemy. Unabema, didn't come and check a compare at the phone, but you'll be a Michiano, and in Chera, what is the income national for MPP. Opening. Fiati omanga ne mu ha na se bi bia bejo amanyosema omanu entwayi ne enkoyi e be se obi biala wafa omensika wanfa ne kwampa so se metro mass bag ifuto metro mass bag ba ko 2,500 na abobo ya da tag ya ye ton sen je be se about we se ye be se o mama se or see or yeah resetting I'm on maga matching you and your sofa so you better obi biala wa for or men's one funny palm passo yes no go to go from your panic chance sense can dear or mine here obi bia wa bo mane krono kro fata yesi o kwata mo no ni sepem tele ko yesi ya chinum obi biala e gana ni mumi fa MPP NC Antonke ni ngi o mane da china da chinchima ba umma ambebre o ma we o mi ya baba ibe tia gana for ka anka mu nya aduma me kan say you go timber cocoa diamond bauxite maga you be biabi sani ma ya wahi ana mo no from the far no do tia o maka o abacha o do wari tia o ka no ibe tia ya wahi dem pe for anwe da chima da chinchima no man nkure ne MPP NDC other two o my Ghana ya me ka o.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Abu Kokolumi, I'm calling for Kokolumi.
Abu, I'm listening.
Brothers, no, I say, and man, I'm talking about crime in traffic in Abba, and yes, I don't put so much.
Yes, that's one of the reasons they give.
I'm not to see also, but to now, yet to know, so much on Tesano, or Mocaso, and better than that, or bank.
That did not come up, but according to them, they would meet and then they'll decide on what to do because it's not only fuel prices that determine what the lorry fare should be.
But no, you know. What to know, let's say, I've got from one. Oman, my park on private cars in the Tias Como. Or Munina, Tomato Patrol, and Tamo, via to the car or Cotton Patrol, and then the traffic in Abbas, or more, also. What you know, more than Ghana for or Montesson, Ghana for how open to us.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Prof.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Honorable Seshak.
Seshak, there's a lot of noise at where you are. I'm struggling to hear you.
God bless you so much for all the time putting Kwabinyan on the map of Ghana. As you always do for Medina. I believe that you know the problems of the Kwabinyan since you are very confident with that place.
Yes, that's where
so
I
need
live.
not to say much.
I live at Ashoman Estate, so.
Oh, okay. I live at Kwabinyan store. Old house. So we are close by. You know our roads are not good, Crosby. So please, we are begging you. Use your voice to advocate for the roads to be done.
Right.
We are bleeding. You see, I always say that. Oh, look, there are 4 ministers who make our president fail. 1 is Sam George, Honorable Sam George. 2, Energy Minister. 3, Transport Minister. And 4, Minister for Justice. That is the Attorney General. They will make this president fail. And number 1 on the list is Attorney General. See, Crosby, people like let's bet. Nothing will happen to anybody. And nothing will happen to anybody. And you see, if we sit down and we envy the developmental progress of the advanced country, and we think that it just comes out of vacuum, and they don't do anything with respect to private corruption, then we are getting it wrong. Go to China and go and find out what's happening over there. You see, the fastest growing economy in the whole world is China. And go and see what they do to people who are corrupt. We sit in this country, and at times, we want to emulate the things that they do over there, but we copy blindly. Kobe, I'm sad this morning. You see, those people who were at Metromax, and whatever suffering that we are gaining currently, as a result of what the transportational issues, may their generations to come and bear it. Have a good morning.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Kwabenya go, Kwabenya come. Crosby, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Not bad. Eben Kwabenya.
Eben, I'm listening.
At Ayiswano constituency, facing crisis of what? Pressure. We are still bleeding. And we don't know what is happening in Ayiswano constituency. Man, for Krum to be precisely, that each and every time UCG has to offer our life. Energy Minister, if you are hearing me, what is going on in Ayiswano constituency, man, for Krum to be precisely, is really bad. What is happening? See, I can see that what the man what at the district, at in some district, sabotaging the government, energy minister. If he can't do the work, please, we are going to transfer him to another station. You see, Crosby, I heard you saying what you are at what Ashoma Estate, right?
Yes, it's true. I'm listening.
Oh, but with Ashoma Estate, you don't have road problem because your road here, I don't know, every time they are, you know, all the access roads in Ashoma, everywhere is fine. Is that not true?
It is very wrong.
Yes.
What you're saying is false.
Oh, where exactly are you calling? Where exactly?
There are a lot of networks linkages in my area.
When it
that
comes to
poor.
Ashoma and the Charlie, your road here, it is way Kwabenya that most of our access should be about.
Cry your own cry. My cry is also different. Our roads are bad. You understand? We have to say it so that the people who should do it will do it. Ashoma Estate, we don't have good roads at all.
But for now, they are.
It is not for now, Eben. It is not for now.
You know, because see, me, I'm in atomic electoral area like you, because where my polling station is reside in atomic electoral. But when it comes to road, the Kwabenya, we are suffering more than Ashoma. So for now, the Ashoma, spare us and let the MC make sure that our Kwabenya and its environs electoral area will also be paid for us. I'm concluding. You see, Nana Mwako, the MPP caller said something, and I side with him. You see, when it comes to what corruption, we need to put aside what MPP, NDC, and face the thing as it is, because it is Ghana before NDC, MPP, and whenever any of our what members siphon money or find themselves in corruption, we must allow them to face the rigors of the law. So for me, let me praise what arrived Ghana for picketing today. At what the Ghana's embassy in US hours, we need Kendo Foriata and also set it down come up because I learned she will be also going to court for her. She has been sentenced abstention already. So when she comes now, she needs to be sent to some prison and came to come and see, because most of the people out there, you remember Kama, I shared the same birthday with the late Kama. Look at how they went through, and the man said 800 people also died out of
Thank
the
you.
DPP.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Frank.
Frank, I'm listening.
So, I'm not fine.
And Council Frank.
They said the human cost machines in yes, nobody are finding via Omoye. The Becano, and Chris Trudeau, why? Opening my mention Mr. Brown, one air forestry commission CEO, and then Adaruma, and then we are Manku Chat Basa. And we are Polesa, and look what about Mia Hama, and essay, and net, Britain, Indian over to the machine. I call Police over to me, as Mr. Brown. How many pointing on SU? The China of Pay. Anna, Sama Jew, I shall my communication officer, honestly, the China of Pay. Opening, yeah, when you are not have a phone, the Yano, and yet, Mr. Dobro, be a station master of the Mu. Before me, a station master opening, before come up for, as a Madrid, not the appointed station master of Eddie, Minia. Before I have a food in any minute, before come up for no pass, as a Madrid domain. Now the only station master, or no, or bad then will do the November gas, as a Madrid domain. And you're fine. Yes, Dominic is home near to full 9.5, 950 Ghana, and at the phone, and no Company Mama, and it's a medium fee, and a bank of Ghana Governor Daruma, and they are to 5.5, and near their phone. That's what the point in Ghana. That's getting a bit the end of a move to move. Baby, yes, I or sort. As I charge extra money account. Yes, woman, buddy, but now what about more money will and check one single room. And the son of the Indian will be number. I say, yes, because, you know, opening a brothel. And I did to some you, I was one kind for you. Omucha Minister of Food and Transport, Omucha Mintro, that's what my Toman Yamazo, opening one got a moment 9 quarters of Congress near my Ben or Matisu. And your man said on Moton, son on that tongue, and a cement for cement so. I own road 40 pesos. And down when you mean I have to so. Adrian for it is so like a say, no more to one. Only not to bear Giano. So to watch it, I don't know a ton of Sadia. Auto Montaigne, and they could just 45 Ghana. There are two 40 at the Delta Banda or Mampany and funny because a human white in $1 and the dollar 70 city. I bet you 10 city. But you free 1 liter 70, about 9 city. I then have the amount of
Thank you.
The sum company going on.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good brother.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Lincoln.
Okay, Mr. Lincoln, I'm listening.
I trust you are doing well, my brother.
I'm very fine, thank you.
Thank you. Let me go straight forward to Dr. Brown Hughes, CEO of Forestry Commission, for the good work they are doing together with Professor Brown Krucher of EPA, fighting against Galamsey and Ebola and his team. Some of our waters are becoming clean gradually. We are praying that things will move on smoothly. Joe, wherever you are, Joe Ashama is going for communication again, and I believe the group of Ashama will vote for him. Yes, about our roads, my place, my constituency, that is my hometown, Shawu Sudoku, we are seeing some attention being given to our roads. Under the big push, my MP, Honorable Linda Okru, who doubles as a Greater Accra Minister, and the DCE, Honorable Godfrey Dodre, they team up to develop a Situare, Usuwe, Bolivo, and the other stretch. So we believe that the attention will be given to all the roads across the country. President John Mama made it clear that Ghana will become a construction zone, and we are already seeing it.
Right.
We pray that the drivers will take time. The punishment they are giving to us during the rush hour, they should rather change their mind, because we are going to descend on the drivers who are trying to make things difficult for motorists. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to hear from you.
I have a very big problem, genuine concern.
Share with us, please.
You know, there's a road from Aimensa through Danfa, Utinibi, then through Amrahia, Katamansu, and you can easily exit to East Legon Hills. So, that road is a very, very unique road if it is starred and it's correct. If you are from Ebri and you are going to East Legon, you don't have to use the Oyaifa stretch. You can easily use that road and then get out. But I don't know what is wrong with Black. I don't know what that problem is. That road is so bad to the extent that driving that road, you'll be scared of your own lane shocks and then you're pushing.
I see.
I'm going to look out for the MC or DCs, whoever is in charge of that area, and I'll speak my mind on air to them. So, if you are called an honorable, honor is bestowed on people who are wise and who use their brains. Look, why are we doing this to our own self? Why? What is the problem with Black man? A very unique road like this, and day in, day out, it keeps spoiling. Why? Look, that's a single coconut Akoko in East Lagos is between 8 cities. You go somewhere else, it's 7 cities. Somewhere else, it's 6 cities. Then they were complaining that, fuel prices are high, so when they go there, blah, blah, blah. Write it down. Black man will never reduce the price. Why?
It is well.
And then you bring the president for all this.
Thank you. Let's pick our last caller this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Claude. Calling from Katamanso.
Hi, Claude. I'm listening.
In our opinion, Malaysia chief a great minister on our way to popularity over here in an insurance. So maybe I'm about my meeting here. But again, in your mind, you are to in your that an attitude in Katamanso also on our people. None of the India, as a man, they can say, that we have box do not happen. Unfortunately, someone in common. Number one, call long distance. At least the box in the fire, come back at class in someone. And as I felt to see, men can't call and cocoa and that is Kumasi, Tapano.
Right.
Because car a family car, in the Buaha. And to tell me, no, no, we just the year now, I can know him for the accident. To transfer me to almost 10 days in front of Bogsy.
Okay.
Now, Bogsy, Mom, for the this to tell my to so I mean, man, I'm not doing it. I for me. Or bomb or no, or they cannot away to stand back. Really, a pet, then your opinion is young. Yeah, about the more minor calling. And then everything. Right. And supporting and
Thank you so much. And that's what Opaka Community Voices segment here on Sarah's on 3FM 92.7 as we make way for sports with Mutala. Mutala, good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, good to be back.
What is happening with Senegal?
Senegal, Morocco, AFCON done.
We are playing,
but a lot of drama.
We are playing AFCON. You start, you say, we say you play. You have come and beg, you have come to play. Now they say you may not even play the World Cup. What is it? Briefly explain to us.
It's just one of those things. But I was, the act from Senegal was unacceptable.
What happened?
Okay, so Senegal thought they had scored a legitimate goal.
Was it, in your opinion, was it a legitimate goal?
I feel it was legitimate.
Okay.
Even though there was a push on Hakimi, I felt it was
strong
too soft
because
this is a contact sport. And if we're going to go with every soft decision, then we will get 100 penalties in a game.
Fair enough.
There wasn't maximum force in there.
Okay.
Then, in the end, or at the dying embers of the game, a penalty is awarded to Morocco.
But technically,
which in my opinion was a clear penalty.
Okay.
Because there was a clear push from Diouf on Brahim Diaz.
All right.
Now Diaz goes on to protest that the referee needs to go to VAR and check. Then after some minutes, the referee halts, go to VAR, sees that it's a penalty. Then Senegal says that we are not even going to continue the game because we feel this was not supposed to be a penalty. And also we scored a legitimate goal, which was disallowed. Then the coach of the Senegalese national team tells them to go to the dressing room, that they are not playing the game anymore. Most of the players walk down the tunnel and are going into the dressing room. Then we saw Claude Leroy, former Black Stars coach. If you remember in 2008, AFCON, he was the coach of the Black Stars. He walked up to the touchline.
But he was not the coach.
No, he was not the coach for...
Who is he?
He's now a technical director for CAF.
Okay.
So he works on the African games. Goes to the touchline, sees Sadio Mane, then Mane goes straight to Claude Leroy because he knows him very well. Leroy has worked on almost about 20 African teams. He's worked with them. So Mane goes to him and asks him, Claude Leroy, what do we do in this situation? Any advice? And he tells Mane, tell your teammates to get back onto the pitch and continue the game because you may never know. They come back onto the pitch, decide to play. Mane actually calls them back. Mane tells the coach to bring all of them back. They all come because Mane is hugely respected in that dressing room. They come back onto the pitch. Then Brahim Diaz stands behind the penalty. It was certainly the last kick of the game. If he scores, it is done. Morocco have won the cup. For 50 years, they've not won this cup. Then Brahim Diaz decides to do something out of the blue or unthinkable. A last-minute penalty and you try a penanka. In football, a penanka is trying to chip the ball. Just to play soft and chip the ball. He chips the ball and it goes straight into the arms of Benjamin Mendy.
There are those who think that it was he intentionally kicked it.
People think it was deliberate. It was never deliberate. If it was deliberate, he would not even have kicked it towards goal.
So if you watch, if you put everything in context, what has happened, the protest by Senegal being left and all of that. If you put it in context, and you look at that's just one of it, and you look at the body language of the rest of the team. In my opinion, I think if he wanted to score, he would have scored.
He wanted to score. He kicked it at goal. No. Listen, you know the funny thing. You know the funny thing.
If you watch it,
you know the funny thing. But you know the funny thing. For a country that spent over 50 million to host a tournament that is not won for 50 years. It has eluded them for 50 years. He was the same player who was protesting for about 4 minutes for that penalty. Did you see the reaction of the Moroccan coach when he came to the bench? The coach was extremely angry. And see, let's be fair. don't put not African teams and fair play in one sentence. They do not care. They do not care about the consequences, what the world will say, because they know if you talk, it would go. You talk for how many years? That it wasn't fair for them to win. How many times haven't we seen teams win tournaments where we say they didn't deserve it? People even said that Argentina didn't deserve to win the 2022 World Cup. Have people not stopped talking? If you go down the history line, Messi has won a World Cup. There's nothing you can do about it, whether it was fair or not. So he wanted to steal the moment with that penanka.
And I'm found.
Because usually when he goes in,
they do
when you go in, when you go in, you are the most brilliant player, or you are the like people hail you because it's not.
But that's not the moment to come and want to do.
That is why Hervé Renard, the former coach, he was also an assistant coach of the Black Stars during what was the name? Claude Leroy's time. Yes. He won the AFCON with Zambia and Ivory Coast. If you remember, Claude Leroy said that he would forgive you for missing a penalty, but he will not forgive you for trying a penanka at the last minute when a cap is on the line.
Kopama does it all the time.
Yes, Kopama does it. But it's not usually an intense game or
not in moments like that.
Not in moments like that. There's nothing on the line. But do you know why the Moroccans are not talking too much about Brahim Diaz? They had to convince Brahim Diaz to come and play for them because he was born, raised, and bred and everything in Spain. He started with Real Madrid. He's played some of the best clubs in the world. He's played Real Madrid. He's played for AC Milan.
So he doesn't see himself Moroccan.
Yes, he's played for Manchester City. But he decided to play for Morocco. And they appreciate that. And also, he scored about 5 goals in the 5 goals.
But I've
in
seen
the
his apology.
Yes, he's apology. He scored about 5 goals. He was more or less like the best player in the. If he had scored that final goal, he would have won the best player in the tournament. So I mean, they want to pardon him for that. But let's no one kid you that.
Which is the spirit.
It was a deliberate.
Like the way we forgave us.
See, the North Africans do not care about your feelings. Don't. It was not deliberate. If it was deliberate, he would have kicked it.
No, it couldn't have been.
He just wanted to steal the moment. Because you know it.
Now
they said they are writing to CAF and FIFA. The Moroccans, they are writing to CAF and FIFA to sanction Senegal because they feel that brief stoppage where Senegal said they were not going to play contributed to the player losing focus and missing the penalty.
But they eventually recovered the time.
Yeah, they said they think that it contributed the tomfoolery that happened and the chaos.
Anyway, but I've read somewhere that the entire Senegalese squad will miss They could.
Yes,
I don't know.
Okay. For now,
they could miss the entire group
for now,
stages of
about
the World Cup.
6 people within the Senegalese team could miss the group stage of the World Cup. Yeah, 6 because they, according to CAF, these were the people who were captured vividly, being involved in some altercation and all that. But they do not care about that at the moment. What they want is they've won the cup. They will be playing France in one of their World Cup groups games. They know France very well, but it would go against them because you lose certain players. I feel the biggest hero. You know the biggest hero in this whole story, Sadio Mane.
Yes,
he wasn't thinking about himself. He was thinking about the consequence because if they are banned, it means that the next generation will not play the AFCON.
And they won't forgive him.
Yes, and this is his last AFCON. So, I mean that.
But Otoado watched this game, right?
What has Otoado done to you again?
The people that they try underrate with a smoke all of them like them cigarette.
Spenanka style attempt saved by Edward Mendy following lengthy protests. Senegal later won 1-0 in extra time through Papi Gueye to secure their second AFCON title. In a statement posted on his social media account, Diaz said that he accepted responsibility for the mess. Now, Diaz, despite missing that penalty, finished the tournament as a top scorer with 5 goals and played a central role in Morocco's run to the final. Staying on the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, highly respected Ghanaian referee Daniel Laye has expressed excitement and hope that his journey at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations would inspire upcoming Ghanaian referees seeking to excel on the continental and global stage. The Ghanaian played various roles and made the headlines after he was appointed the referee for the semi-final showdown between Nigeria and Morocco.
All this time of my career, I try to do my best to project you. If not you, you serve as a motivation for the next generation of referees in Ghana. So I just do what I have to do. For us, you cannot rate yourself unless you have a commissioner. But with the response from coaches, you could see it's a 5-star performance. And then we keep, it's happened. Sometimes you have your day, you have some wrong calls, but if football wins, you win. It's okay.
Daniel Laye was speaking at his arrival at the Kotoka International Airport after his exploits in the AFCON. We'll be heading to Europe shortly, but before we do that, let's do some more words. Shoba Aristika, the head coach of Aduana FC, has lamented over officiating issues which he believed played a role in Aduana's 1-0 defeat to Nations FC last Sunday.
Waiting, I have 18 game. Aduana Star have only 1 penalty. He play the fair play. But I know like talking from the referee. If he's talking the referee, the federation will ban you and stop here. But me, I coming here in the Ghana from working very hard, from coming in the game, from play good football. And who is the best, the better insight in the pitch led to win the game. But some decide today, 1 offside, I have the penalty clear. Let's see if it's penalty. It's okay. I have me confidence. If it's not penalty, me is the problem, and the ban for me is not problem. And I go home I try here really. I coming here in Ghana from my heart. I working every week hard. And you see like this situation, where is my motivation?
Shoba Aristika, the head coach of Aduana, clearly not happy with their defeat to Nations FC. Let's head to Europe, where the UEFA Champions League returns on Tuesday. That is today, after a brief break with fixtures across Europe. Action begins early as Kairat Almaty hosts Club Brugge before a busy evening featuring Manchester City at Bodo Glimt, Copenhagen versus Napoli, with Internacional Milan taking on Arsenal. Olympiacos will take on Bayer Leverkusen, with Real Madrid facing Monaco. Sporting CP will take on Paris Saint-Germain, and Tottenham Hotspur will face Borussia Dortmund, with Villarreal also coming up against Ajax. Ahead of the matches, Manchester City head coach Pep Guardiola says his team has learned from last season and is targeting a top 8 finish.
The derby game is the same feeling that we had after the game. They were better, and immediately thinking about this different competition, the chance that we have to finish in top 8 tomorrow. Coming here, so we have time. I think we don't talk one word about United, and we'll talk. I think we talked before Wolves, but now it's another competition, and last season we have 7 points, we have 13. Last season, in that moment, that game we were in Paris, 0-2 in the 5-10 minutes second half, and after we lost 4-2, in that moment, PSG was out of the competition, and after they won unbelievably the Champions League deservedly, and today we have 13 in the chance that qualify in top 8, so that I think is enough argument to be focused on tomorrow and know what happened in the past. So of course the lesson, so I didn't review the game, but I know right now, even though watching the game against United, they were better, and when a team is better, just you have to congratulate them, improve. And
That is Pep Guardiola, the head coach of Manchester City. Ahead of the headline clash of the night, head coach of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, believes the Gunners' game against Inter Milan will be a difficult one, but the side are prepared for this one.
Well, a very similar context to last year. Obviously, where the two teams are at the moment is a bit different. New manager as well, that I think has given them some other things in their identity and the way they play. But obviously, we know a super competitive team, a team that is dominating the league, and a really tough game.
Let's stay on Arsenal because the legend Thierry Henry had tipped the Gunners to end their Premier League trophy drought this season. The former French forward believes the Gunners are at the required level to lift the Premier League trophy.
You're 7 points ahead. You have two teams that can be in the top four. You put money on the table. We kept our coach. We're going to talk, and we see obviously a lot of coaches that are getting the sack or the people don't trust. It looked like that we were right to keep that manager. Is doing extremely well. Obviously, I'm going to repeat myself. You put money on the table. You're 7 points ahead. What do you want to be? 30 points ahead, and then you want the league. You want to win the league already now. We are doing extremely well. We asked Mikel Arteta to find a way to be above Liverpool and Man City. If they're not following with Villa, that's on them. Look at what you're doing and what you can do, however you want to do it. I know a lot of people are talking about set pieces and, you know, not a lot of chances created and whatnot. We asked him to find a way to win. We still didn't, but that's what he's doing.
Thierry Henry, the London-based journalist Rahman Osman also says if Arsenal fail to win the Premier League title this season, the Gunners may not win it again.
And just keep the title race alive. But for a team with Arsenal, who have history of buckling under pressure, you want to give yourself a lot of headroom when eventually City come, because there will come a time, and this is where it's tricky. You're trying to get to the semi-final of the Champions League, and you have a top game to play in the league, and maybe City is just 3 points behind you. Now you have to make a decision between picking a Champions League game or a Premier. You don't want all that mess that come around. And I just feel like if Arsenal don't win the league this season, they would never win the league. Because there's no quality in the, Man City, Huff and Paul. But if the Premier League was competitive, City would nowhere be second on the league table left.
That is Rahman Osman. Let's do some transfer where Birmingham City have confirmed the loan signing of Ghanaian winger Ibrahim Osman from Premier League side Brighton and Hove Albion for the remainder of the 2025-26 season. The 21-year-old, who recorded from his loan spell at Auxerre, joins Birmingham as their third loan signing from Brighton this season, following James Biddle and Aaron Cashin joining them. Osman, who joined Brighton in 2024 from Nordirland for £16 million, has previously had loan spells at Feyenoord and Auxerre, making 32 appearances for the Dutch side and scoring 3 goals. Here are the first words of Ibrahim Osman.
Really excited to meet the people, the staff, the players. Yeah, I'm really excited. Can't wait to get started. Birmingham is one of the big teams in England, and yeah, when I spoke to the people around the club, yeah, they made me choose here to come to play for Birmingham. Yeah, speaking with the coach and the sporting director, as you know already, they just qualified from the League One last season with a lot of points. So you can see the ambition from the club. And yeah, when they told me that, it was easy for me to say yes because of on the path they are on. The manager obviously has been watching some of my games. He knows my style of play, and he thinks my style of play fits better in this team.
That is Ibrahim Osman. There he has joined Birmingham City on loan, and that is a big one for him. Still on transfers, Manchester City have completed the signing of Crystal Palace captain Maguire for £20 million. The England defender, who had been linked with some of Europe's top clubs, almost joining Liverpool last summer and was out of contract at the end of the season. Gay had a medical on Sunday after agreeing personal terms with Manchester City and has signed a 5.5-year deal. Gay has been speaking after signing.
First and foremost, it's such an honour, such a big club to come and play for this club, and I think for me, I've always just been obsessed with getting better and wanting to improve. That's something that I'm constantly striving for, and I think this is the perfect place for me to do that. You know, the environment. You know, I've heard so much about the club and the fans. the players, speaks for himself, the manager. So it's definitely the right environment for me to improve and just get better. And hopefully I can bring what I have to the table to help every single person here too.
Okay, there. Now, before we go, let's do some more where the Super Eagles of Nigeria have climbed to 26th position in the latest FIFA ranking released on January 19, moving up an impressive 12 places. Nigeria rose from 38th position following a strong showing at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, where the Super Eagles won a bronze medal. The three-time African champions are now ranked as the third best team in Africa behind AFCON champions Senegal, who are 12th on the FIFA World Ranking, and host Morocco, ranked 8th in the world. Algeria and Egypt occupy 4th and 5th position, respectively, on the African rankings. In the world ranking, Spain, Argentina, France, England, Brazil, Portugal, the Netherlands, Germany, Japan, and Belgium make up the top 10 currently, and that is a big one for them. And then this is where we call it a wrap with a sports update here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutala Yakubu. There's more sports on all our socials at 3 Sports GH. Don't go nowhere. There's more after this.
Three FM. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning. The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
They're the best. Turn it up.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains. Sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, let go.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm, it rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
social media platforms at 3FM927. Join us on Facebook right now. Join us now as we step into this conversation. When we talk about development in Ghana, it is important to remember that it begins with people and communities. And the Zongo communities, they have always been known for their resilience, for their strong sense of togetherness, their contribution to trade, culture, and faith across the country. Today, Ghana is talking about the research agenda, a new way of doing things and creating opportunities led by the NDC government and led by President John Dramani Mahama. It is a moment for us to sit together and talk about what this research really means for Zongo families, for the Zongo youth, and for the Zongo future. So in fact, we want to bring that conversation home to our brothers and sisters in the Zongo communities who think that they are excluded of the research agenda. The government does not really pay attention to them. A lot of promises have been made to them over the past couple of years. They always feature in political party manifestos. But there's the big concern about the levels of implementation, how they benefit from these policies by successive governments. But we also know that the Zongo communities, they have been places of hard work. Their sense of togetherness is often unmatched. So this conversation is about how a fresh start can also create new opportunities for Zongo families. Alhaji Halidu Haruna, he is the Chief Executive Officer of the Zongo Development Fund, and that is the agency tasked with driving development in Zongo and other disadvantaged communities in Ghana. Well, Alhaji was appointed by President John Dramani Mahama in 2025 to lead the fund. He has a lot of experience in this area, in this arena. He has served as the communications director of the National Hajj Board before, and he's a former parliamentary aspirant for the Ablekuma Central constituency. We know that Alhaji as CEO, he has been publicly active in expanding the skills and training as well as employment opportunities for the youth in the Zongo communities, strengthening partnerships with traditional leaders and community stakeholders to support inclusive community-driven development, supporting initiatives that tackle social challenges, unemployment, and then most importantly, drug abuse, while promoting rehabilitation and then empowerment programs. The Zongo groups, they love him. They love him very much. And I have in my hand right now the research and agenda, the 2024 manifesto abridged version of the NDC, building the Ghana we want together, jobs, accountability, and prosperity. If you go to page 68 of that book, that is what captures Zongo and inner city development. Alhaji is here to talk about all of that with us. Alhaji, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Great. How has 2025 been for you? So far, so good?
Well, so far, so good, yes. I think that it has been impressive. And we are excited that an opportunity has been given to lead and provide leadership in running the agency called Zongo Development Fund.
How has running the agency been like? How is it going?
Well, it's a bit challenging, and at the same time, I would say once you have the passion to assist in uplifting the weak and the vulnerable, and you are placed in such a critical institution, you will have nothing than to be driven by that passion to ensure that things are done right. So basically, I would say so far, I have led the Zongo Development Fund to try to shape in the operation of the fund, because I actually inherited a very distressed fund with only 221 Ghana cedis in the cafes.
In the fund, 221 cedis.
221 Ghana cedis. Unfortunately for me, I did not get the opportunity of getting my predecessor to sit with me to hand over formally.
So there were no proper handing over notes and all of that?
Handing over. What he decided to do was to just send an email with some addendum attached to what he claimed to be the handing over notes. So basically, you have to just use your experience to unearth certain things that has been done which are not too good. And I have discovered a certain challenging and revealing and disturbing development within the fund. And I think that when you are entrusted with an opportunity to serve, particularly a community that needs or requires some kind of support, you are supposed to be harnessed and supposed to work diligently. You don't just misuse the money. I sit there as a CEO of Zongo Development Fund. I get a bit worried sometimes with even the request that comes to the fund.
What kind of requests do you get?
Yeah, you have a situation where my expectation really is that if a request should come to me, it should be about sponsoring young men and women within the community, because no community would develop without human resource.
Right.
You need to build the human resource base, educate the young men, and at least empower them. But you have situations where when the request comes, it's about you have to sponsor a festival, you have to sponsor. In fact, when you do the need assessment, it is crucial to make this point that I basically feel that if I have to spend 10,000 Ghana cedis, that 10,000 Ghana cedis should be productive. I mean, I should spend it in a productive area where it will yield a benefit that will assist the development of the community. I am not saying that because as it is part of our mandate to assist festivals, etc., aim at promoting tourism. It is. But when it becomes a norm rather than the exception, it becomes a bit difficult. As a young man or probably somebody born from Zongo, I have a personal experience of life.
In the Zongo community?
In the Zongo community. It is not an easy thing to grow up within the Zongo community where you have a situation where individuals who may have benefited and may have, through their own effort, be able to grow. They leave the community. And at least there are certain things that has to be done within the community. For instance, if I today were to be involved in drug addiction, I don't think that His Excellency the President will find me useful to lead that agency.
Sure.
Now, my presence within the community will inspire young men and women growing up
in the community,
knowing my background and where I'm coming from. Certainly, they would be inspired that you don't allow poverty. You don't allow probably having two of your parents, both mom and dad, who are not educated, to be an impediment on your effort to grow. But the situation in Zongo is that the moment we get this opportunity, we walk out of that community. We only leave behind the bad examples for the young ones to see. And sometimes you cannot blame the young ones because they grow up to see only...
That's the only things
that's the only see they are encountered with. So that is one of the difficulties I think that I need to emphasize on and call upon all those who are from Zungos. In fact, if God has done so, has been gracious to you and you have what it takes and you are able to build in East Lagos, it does not actually take you away from the Zongo community. Be available so that the young ones can look up to you
and learn
be inspired,
from you.
Learn from you. So what we are lacking is mentorship.
At the moment.
Okay. And which I intend to lead to ensure that at least we give the young ones an examples that they can be inspired on and then be able to. I I was born in Zongo typically, with a very poor background, but I was able to soldier on and be admitted in Mfansipim. It's not an easy thing. My basic school, I attended the government basic school, not private school. My dad was basically a laborer and then a watchman. And so with this kind of story and background, when you step in there with the young men and speak to them on it, certainly they will be inspired to also try to soldier on, because that motivation which made you to drive to go and then get yourself a little education. When you use that as a background, it will inspire many of the young ones to... I sit here a very disturbed man because of the crippling effect of drug abuse within the Zongo community.
We'll get into all of that, Alhaji, but let's take a few steps back. And then when you assumed office, with how much was in the coffers of the fund and based on the needs of the people, how did you manage it?
One of my staff, the management team, one of my staff said, Alhaji, we thought you are a magician, because it's like ever since you assumed office, in spite of the fact that we do not have enough resources, we've been able to run, and indeed, we've been able to run the fund, the activity of the fund to some extent.
How did you do it? You only had 215, you said.
221 Ghana cedis.
221 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
How did you use 221 cedis to run a fund for Zongo communities? And how many communities are we looking at?
We are looking at about 3,000. It's difficult to be specific in terms of the number,
but
because
around
every day you have
communities springing up.
Up.
So how did you do it?
That's a very good question to ask. I have, in fact, because of I'm sure people, those who know me, will understand that I have people who support. Basically, when you are good to humanity, others will reciprocate same to you. My motivation really is to see people smiles. So at the end of the day, there are few people that I have run to assist.
Okay.
And they have done that without any, if I should say, hesitation.
Okay.
And so, having been able to get that kind of support, I decided that yes, this fund. In fact, leadership is about taking steps to change what is not good, or to change situations to a better situations, a bad situation to a better situation. So once you are granted with the opportunity to lead, you must demonstrate the capacity to lead by making sure that what you have found out, which is not in good condition, you change it to a better situation. And
so
that
you
is
got
exactly,
support from,
I've gotten support, and then a little budget releases, and we have also internal generated, we have 3 sources of funding.
Okay.
Government of Ghana, internal generated, donors or investment. Unfortunately, I was thinking that by now we should have more investment that will accrue to our benefit, but that hasn't been done. I promised the community that under my leadership, I'll make sure that when we are able to get enough fund, we are going to invest in an area that will accrue to the benefit of the
So how long have you been there since?
Virtually 3 months now.
You're very young there.
Very young.
From 221 cedis.
Yes.
So how much do we have now in the fund, if you know?
Well, so far in our internal generator, we have about 200,000 Ghana cedis.
In 3 months, you got this amount of money.
It is actually a money that has been, because we have astroturfs.
Yes.
And when that astroturf is actually rented by individuals for their various activities. So when they rent, under the policy of the agency, we have an allocation that we make.
A percentage, okay.
A percentage. So 60% of the money comes to us. 15% goes to the management team. Then 15% 90% goes to community, then 10% to the assembly, where the AstroTurf or that facility is situated. So out of that, we're able to get the 200,000 Ghana cedis. But you know, we cannot even utilize the 200,000 Ghana cedis unless we seek clearance from the finance ministry. And that is what I intend doing, because I visited Tamale, to be specific, Sanergu, where the previous regime put up a recreational center. It's a craft center. And looking at that center, it will be useful and it will impact on the development of that community, because this is a center that is meant to train people in fugu. You know fugu, smokes?
Yes, smokes.
Yes, they would train patakari. They would train young men and women within the community. They would train them in leather, sandals, shoes, etc. So I think that is crucial that that center should be completed. So I visited the chief, because the chief has decided to give us an allocation of 33 acres of land for senior high school that we intend building as part of our promise within the manifesto. Islamic Senior High School, we promise. So the chief of Sanarugu made some allocation of 33 acres of land to us. So I decided that as courtesy's demand, I must move there to thank him. It was at that point that he raised the issue of the craft center. I visited the place, and it was an impressive structure. So I decided that I have to then seek clearance from the finance ministry so that I could use the 200,000 to invest in that craft center, because I'm sure the benefit will be more.
But if you use the 200,000 to invest in that craft center at where it is, what happens to the other communities? Well, how will they benefit?
We run a system where, when the craft center certainly is going to create revenue to us. So investing in, we are likely to retrieve back that money with so much even dividend out of that. So it is not just investing the 200 without getting back that money. We have put up places, things like public place of convenience, that also generates some incomes to us. And so internal generated, we are getting it. But the mandate of the agency, among the mandate is to raise funding. So I have a program this year that I'm going to organize a road fundraising roadshow, which I intend to embark somewhere around February, later part of February to March, where I will visit most of these Gulf countries with proposals in respect of the project we intend doing. As I speak to you now, even though I do not have the needed funding, I've been able to have the architecture drawing of the Islamic school that we intend putting up within the 3 sectors of this country. That is the northern part, the middle belt, and then the southern part. These are the promises we made that we're going to establish 3 schools, Islamic Senior High School, with modern facilities. The architecture drawing has been done. And in fact, you asked earlier, how did I do it? As part of my performance KPIs, every quarter I have to go to His Excellency, the President's office, to present my outlook and my performance, what I've been able to achieve. And it was in that conversation that it emerged, because the previous regime were unable to meet certain targets. So out of that interaction, I got the impression that at least if you have a project and you have good friends, it's possible they can assist in getting all those drawings that you need to, because you cannot go with any proposal without showing the pictorial structure of that project that you intend doing to anybody who want to assist you. So I needed to get all those things done. And as I speak to you now, I have the architecture drawing, and I'm seeking for approval from Ministry of Education. Then a proposal has been developed, which I intend attaching to go to the Gulf city, particularly Turkey Qatar, etc. I'm going to seek for support from them.
Okay.
I don't intend relying solely on the support of government. I think that I need to open up and
Fair
be
enough.
able to secure.
So, around what time are we looking at? What are the timelines we're looking at to get the help and then to maybe finish construction or reach a certain level?
When you go for this kind of support, you need to convince the people. They must be convinced, and it should also be in line with what they intend to do.
True.
And you know, the Gulf countries, they have a program every year that they intend to support communities, countries that are not developed, particularly areas where you have Muslim dominated. Now, Zongo Development Fund, people have a certain misconception about when we talk of Zongo. They normally believed these are Muslims who are just living within that community. No, Zongo, in fact, Zongo Development Fund is not driven by religion. It's not religion driven. It is actually supposed to assist the developmental needs of the community called Zongo, not specific to do with Islam. I want to clarify that, because when you go to Zongo, it is not only Muslims who are living in Zongos. We have non-Muslims, they have traditionalists, etc. All these group of people are supposed to benefit from the development that we send there. And so those who think that when we talk of Zongo, it's only Muslims and then they don't want to have anything to do with that, I think that misconception must be discarded, because it doesn't help. Now, no country can be described as developed when that country has slums like Zongos, etc. If indeed you want to develop, you must have that holistic development. And so the creation of Zongo Development Fund is critical, because at least it will identify areas of needs of Zongos, and then provide that resources to enable us to bring up the development of the community at par to other areas of our country. And that is where we can say that yes, Ghana is developing.
So the research agenda that the NDC government has spoken about, what practical changes should Zongo residents expect to see in the coming months, in the coming years?
Well, first of all, I think that I keep telling people that, and that I demonstrated that in front of the Sana when I visited him. Time conscious. And if there should be anybody who should respect time, it should be a Zongo man. You know why?
Tell us.
Because you have a situation where if you are living in Zongo and you are a Muslim, you are supposed to pray 5 times a day.
True.
And you have to pray within time. And so anytime it is one, you see the Muslim running to the mosque because they want to pray as prescribed by the dictate of the Quran or the Hadith. Now, but it is strange when it comes to adherence to time. When you invite somebody to a program, you have a situation where you give the person 9:30. Around 9:30 the person will start leaving the house. You are expected to be at the place at 9:30.
Yes. Some will say, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11.
Exactly. So one of the things I intend doing, and which I think I am frustrated by that, is that you receive an invitation. They tell you 10 o'clock. And because of my consciousness when it comes to time, by 10 you are funded. Then you will see that the organizers have not even started anything. You have to go and wait 1 hour, 2 hours. It is an aspect of our life which I think we need to work on. And that day when I visited the Sana, he said yes, indeed. 30 minutes before the time he gave me, I was there. Then he himself in his remarks says that it's truly, if Zongo is able to come before time, that means that the reset agenda is on course.
Okay, so again, to those who are listening, they want to see practical changes. What kind of changes will they see in the communities practically?
Practical change. I have a concept.
Okay.
And because of my personal experience, and that has motivated me to develop that concept, that I decided to tag that concept as ZITCOM centers.
What are they?
ZITCOM. So you use this ZCOM centers. It's supposed to be a training center.
Okay.
Where you have a library, both as Islamic and then
regular, if you like.
English, yes. Now, in that center, we intend to deploy counselors who will identify young men who are living within the community. In fact, because of the setup of the Zungus, you have a situation where parents stays with their children in a room, maybe chamber in a hall. These children attend schools. They are expected to read in the evening. But because of the limitations, parents want to sleep and children, they want to read. The light is supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Then parents want the light off. So that kind of scenario impede the learning process of these young men within the community. That's a personal experience I have had. So when I was in school, what I adapted and what I did was that after closing, I stayed in school for an hour or two
to learn.
Read my books. So you will never see me reading in the house. That became an issue between me and my senior brother. He was always on my neck.
That you don't learn.
Yeah, I don't learn. And I told him, and because he decided to give me a quota, if you are able to get a grade 6, I will sponsor you to secondary school. So I just said to him that, what's your problem? If I'm unable to meet the condition you've set out, I am the cause of it. So don't just worry me, leave me. And indeed, I was able to make it. And then he actually honored his promise. So because of that personal experience, I decided to develop that concept where we register these young men within the community, where these centers will be put up. When we register them, we are going to deploy national service personnel, and we are going to have our district officers also being part of that structure.
Okay.
We'll develop a complete secretariat. Now, why the secretariat? The secretariat, I have decided to introduce the secretariat because you have a situation where a child having both parents who are not educated, after BEC, they have a challenge. They don't know what to do. And so you see such children in crisis. Whenever after BEC, they have to go for their results, they have to get it endorsed. They don't have that opportunity. They get themselves frustrated. Unless maybe those who have friends who direct them, go and do this, go and do that. My personal experience, let me tell you, when my results came, I had to take transport fare, go to Tantri in Kanishi. As a child, a young man from JSS, I have to travel to Cape Coast for my prospectus. Today, as we speak, how many of the young men completing JSS will be able to go on their own to do those things? So what we need to do is to guide them. And then these centers is supposed to address the issues of drug abuse, because the young ones who are not affected by any of these issues of the social vices will be able to guide them out of it, because it's just like the prep system we run in secondary schools.
Right.
So in the evening after prayers, my expectation is that parents will just push these young men just for 1 hour to come to that center. They will have guidance. They have people there who will guide them. And then we'll monitor their growth in terms of their educational performance. So at the end of the day, these children are going to be registered by using their Ghana card. We'll monitor their activity till after JSS. If they are going to secondary school, based on their performance, the counselor there will advise which course the child will be able to do.
Okay.
And so there will be serious guidance in respect of that. Now,
so these will be physical structures.
These will be
in all the
physical structures that we intend putting up within the community. And in fact, we intend to address the issue of drug abuse head on. We need to protect the young ones who are not in need, so that at least those who are unfortunately affected will look at rehabilitation and getting them out of that. But we must not allow those young ones coming up to get in before we start to fight.
That's what the center will address.
That's what the center will address. Okay. To address the issue of career guidance, we'll guide them in terms of their career. We assess them based on their performance in school and advise which field will they best fit, and then we'll give them that advice, because certainly they are not getting that from their homes. Parents, normally those who are educated, they have the benefit of assessing the behavior of their child,
right?
And they are able to tell which course when you take, it will help you. But
it appears to me that your focus is on human resource.
That is critical.
Very good. But what about, communities or people who unfortunately may not know the importance of the human resource development? They are expecting something else, or they have different needs. How would you address that?
We have skills training.
Okay.
We have, as part of our mandate, we have skills training. Those who indeed do not have what it takes to go through that formal education, we are supposed to train them in areas that will also be productive. Those who want to learn tailoring, those who want to go into mechanic, those who want to learn entrepreneurship, all these are things that we do. Now, those who will be benefiting from that training, after the training, we are supposed to establish them by providing them with the tools that will enable them to go out there and continue with what.
And are you establishing them in the community itself?
We are going to. We have to establish them in the community by providing the tool that will enable them to operate as they were trained.
This selection process will be across all the Zongo communities in the country.
It's supposed, but it will depend on the availability of resources. Yeah. But I think that apart from getting the resources on your own, we can also collaborate with other agencies that can provide that. So I have gotten some proposals from other agencies that we want to partner as. We are to identify the individuals who are willing to participate. Then we provide push them there, then we get that done. So collaboration we do with other agencies to provide those needed support. So it is not just, even though we don't have the resources that we need, we will continue to soldier on, because you need a deep thinking as you sit there as a CEO of Zongo Development.
We have touched on we have mentioned a few times the concern about drug abuse, and that is not to say that it is only in the Zongo communities, not at all. It is widespread countrywide. But if you go to the Zongo communities, we see it predominantly there sometimes. First of all, what is the approach to why does it happen there, first of all?
Well, that's a very good question. Why does it happen? Because when growing up in Zongo, I hardly see a young man smoking.
Because the thinking is a religious group, although that is not the idea, but it is a religious group, people who are together, they care for each other. There's a sense of belonging and togetherness. That's what we are used to.
That is what is missing. That resulted in what is manifesting in the Zongo community. That care and togetherness completely missing within the Zongo community.
How did it happen?
Growing up as a young man, you have a situation where you may have done something wrong. People don't wait for your parent to come before you are disciplined. You are disciplined before your parent will even get to know about it. And after that, you have your parent coming to thank those who discipline you because indeed they have done some good to you. But globalization and modernization have come where people think that, computer, they say disease. Today, when you touch somebody's son or daughter, the person comes to fight you. Why did you do that? So people coil back and decided to adopt the strategy of each one for himself, God for us all. And that's the results of what we are seeing within the Zongo community.
Is it not the frustration of life? I mean, a lot of the youth there are not employed. They wake up, they don't really know what to do, so they get overwhelmed by life, and then they are introduced to such things.
I don't think so. I don't think so. In the past, many of us who were growing up within the Zongo, we have seen young men who were not employed, but they never delved into drugs because that community guidance exists. You dare not, because every person you come across is considered as a brother or as a sister. So when you go wrong or you do anything that is not untoward, you are disciplined. But because now parents will not accept that, you touch his son or his daughter, they come after you. And so people decided, okay, let's leave and then stay. And there is no way an individual can bring up a child alone. It's a community, in fact, by the setup of the Zongos, Zongo is supposed not to be experiencing that kind of emergence of drugs. I get a little worried sometimes when I enter and I see young men within their productive age completely destroyed by drugs. And that is why just quite recently, the Zongo chief in Ablekuma Central said, no, it cannot continue like this. He called on the young men within the community who are level-headed, stood up and said, no, we won't accept this to continue. They fought it. And in fact, there is something I keep telling them that, you see, if you want your condition to change, you don't expect somebody to come and force you to change that condition. You take the steps. When you take the steps in addressing your own condition, you get the help, the needed help that you require.
So what should the leaders in these communities do?
We should bring back that community togetherness, where your son is my son, your daughter is my daughter. If I see, in fact, just 3 days ago, one of the, she's now grown because she's married. I used to see them when I when I found them around the football. There's a football park, very big football park, in the evening. Anytime I come out and I see them, I take kill and chase them. And so when they see me, they shout, Halidu na Zua, that Halidu is coming. Then they run. These are young women. Today, they are all married in their husband's home. They see me and they laugh over it. Say in the past, this guy will come with a kill and he was chasing us. Because I don't see what they were doing on that, in late in the night on that field. So anytime I see that, I chase them. And none of their family members ever confronted me, why are you doing that? Today they are very useful women, married and bringing up their kids. So I think that we need to come back to that culture where your child is considered as my child. I will treat your child the way I will treat my child. But a situation where I felt that, no, my child is superior than this person's child, will continue to suffer this kind of unfortunate development within the zone.
And for those who have unfortunately fallen victim of the abuse and are addicts now and have nowhere to turn to, how will the fund, or how will the Zongo Development Agency, how will they look after these people?
We are partnering with the leadership of the community, the chiefs, the imams, to engage these young men and women. As I earlier on indicated, it's just lack of resources. I am really committed because, to be honest with you, I want to see the Zongo, the perception about Zongo change, the orientation, etc. So we intend to partner with the leadership of the Zongo community so that those who are infected, we try to find a rehab for them and we get them out of that. If we are able to get them out of it, we put them under the training of the Zongo Development Fund on the basis of skills training, so that at least they will become useful and productive to the community. After training, as I earlier indicated, we have to establish you by providing all the needed tool for your job. So I'm sure if we are able to get them out of that drug abuse, addiction, and then we train them and provide them with the needed support, I'm sure we'll be making a headway within the Zongo community.
And the other bit about a lot of the vices coming from the Zongo communities and how easily people use the youth, men and women from these communities, to perpetrate crime, evil, to hurt others. How is the agency also dealing with something like this?
It is an issue of orientation. And I keep telling people that when you are always confronted with the bad examples, you are likely to copy. And that is the situation. But it will take time to get these things changed. That is why I keep urging young men and women who are somehow okay in life, who are coming from the Zongo, not to distance themselves. I have suffered, the kind of experience I went through within my own community. I should have stayed off completely from that because of the level of, should I use hatred? It may be a strong word to use, but I have suffered seriously. But my perception or my reason for continuously going there is not about those who are doing that to me. It's about the young ones coming up, and for them to see that, no, if you remain focused and determined, you will certainly get the support from individuals to grow. And so I don't consider what I went through and still going through as an impediment to stay away. In fact, God has been so gracious to me. I have my own apartment, 3 kids blessed, one completed KNUST, the other one in UPSC, the third one in Ghana National. At least as a young man, for me, when I look at this, it's enough. And I think that it will serve as an inspiration to others. I drive, before even the appointment, I drive a reasonable nice car because at least Benz GLC 350. It's not just any car.
Sisters,
so,
are you listening to what the man is saying? Sisters, he doesn't even drive now.
So it's not any, but that is, and to be honest with you, you get to know where I'm coming from, and you understand why I keep emphasizing on that. And so that experience, anyone or any young man that will hear or listen to that will be inspired and motivated that this guy, he keeps making us proud. This place, this is where he was born. Room number Compass 17. When you come there, you ask, they will tell you.
So, where do you live now, Alaji?
Old Barrier.
So, do you still live in the Zongo community?
Old Barrier, where I live, is not Zongo community, but there is no day I don't step my foot in my area.
So it is not necessarily for the people who have been successful to live there, but
no,
it should be...
You see, by the nature of the setup, it will be difficult. In fact, when Professor Mills won the election, I had the opportunity of serving under his administration. And I stayed throughout the 4 years in that community. Strangely, it was the same community people who were telling me, won't you live here? Won't you live here?
Why were they telling you?
And a friend of mine, a schoolmate of mine, brought a lady for me to assist in terms of school replacement. When she came and looked at my room, she asked the friend, are you sure he has the power to do what you are asking me, or what I want? Then the guy said, oh, he can do it. The woman said, no, I don't believe it. If he has that power to do it, he will not stay here.
But why were your people sucking you from the place?
Well, they think that, and that is the funny aspect of life. Strangely, when even you walk, they see you walking, they ask you, where's your car? So they think that once you occupy a certain position, you are not expected to live a normal life.
Like them.
Like them. And so it makes it so difficult anybody to be able to associate. But sometimes I parked my car. I walked around on foot. There are many of these boys who want to talk to you. If you continue to ride or drive in your car with the tinted glass,
you are inaccessible.
You are inaccessible. How will they be able to listen to, wisdom? You see the difficulty.
True.
But community, society, pressure within the society itself. So they continuously attack me. Why do you stay here? Why do you stay here? In fact, let me tell you a story. I parked an official vehicle under Professor Amos when I was... Then I came out one morning and that car was scratched with a metal. So I look at it, I say, I scream, who did this? And the elderly man was sitting by me and said, this is Zongo. If you want to park a car, go and look for a garage. So I turned and looked at him and said, what kind of statement is this? You mean, Zongo, we don't deserve good things? It is only bad things that we deserve. Why is it that Zongo, we cannot park a good car outside?
What did she say?
He told me, he said I should go and look for a garage and park the car inside. I turned and looked at him, but you see that statement, it was intended to probably tell me something. But when I came back to the office, at that time, I did not even have a plot of land. But that statement inspired me and I said to myself, this man is telling me something. So quickly, I decided, that was when I decided to organize myself, got a land and started building.
So, Alhaji, we'll have to go, but a few more things. So the major concern with life and living in the Zongo communities I'm getting is about mindset.
It is about
It's
mindset.
about the mind, the orientation of people outside the community and even the people in the community themselves. Because from the example you're telling us, the woman said the woman is a Zongonian. The woman lives and is from the Zongo. But she's telling you that you can't park this car here because Zongo, we don't want this.
This is Zongo. Yeah, it's Zongo.
So that's
the mindset.
That's why the human resource development is now very important.
Serious orientation on the way we think and reason. And I think that if they are, we the Zongos, particularly those who are Muslims, sometimes I get a bit worried because you see, if you understand the Quran, life would have been better for us. And those who really, but there is a serious lacuna between understanding of the Quran and then our own actions and adhering to what the Quran says.
Okay. So there's the need for a lot of education there. I'm holding in my hand the Zongo and Inner City Development page of the research and agenda, like I mentioned earlier. The 2024 Manifesto abridged version of the NDC Reset in Ghana, Building the Ghana We Want Together. Page 68. So the NDC government commits to implementing targeted affirmative action measures to bridge significant developmental gaps and accelerate growth in Zongo communities and inner city areas. It says that this will promote social equity, stimulate economic development, and then foster social inclusion for a more balanced and prosperous Ghana. To achieve these goals, we will, number one, establish the Soyaya Fund.
Soyaya Fund, we are prepared. In fact, His Excellency said we should develop the model. The Soyaya Fund is meant to make available resources to SMEs within the Zongos.
So what's the latest on that you're preparing the model?
We are developing a model, and I'm sure by ending of next month, the President should be launching that one.
The Soyaya Fund for SMEs in the Zongo communities.
Yes.
Okay, so by the end of next month, we should see a launch of this.
A launch of this,
okay.
Yes.
So when the fund is launched, what next?
Disbursement. We identify businesses within the Zongo. One of the challenges of businesses within the Zongo is records keeping.
Okay.
So we intend to, as part of the model, train those who have these SMEs to understand how records should be kept.
But where will money come from into the fund?
As part of the model that we are developing, I have earlier indicated we have 3 sources of funding, or 4, if I should, investment of Zongo Development Fund. We have donation and fundraising. We have IGF and then government support. Now, The difficulty is that government support sometimes is a bit of a challenge because there are other competing interests. That is not to say that government is not interested in actually making resources available for. But so the aspect of the government support certainly will come, because as part of our budget, that money will come, and then probably we'll use that. And we intend investing some of the money in a productive area that we can be driving some benefit out of it and use to support.
So number 2 is reduce extremely high Hajj fares that we've seen.
That has been done.
Initiate an educational infrastructure program to expand educational infrastructure in Zongo and inner cities, including the building of 3 new Islamic SHs in northern, middle, and southern belts. You've spoken
That's
about
what
that.
I mentioned, yes.
Now, the STEM and TVET model schools in selected regions to serve Zongo communities. Have we selected the regions already?
We have not selected the regions yet. We are now working on trying to identify the regions, because you see, there are some regions that have been blessed with so many schools. And so we need to balance it with those that lack those infrastructure. So we need to identify those ones.
When should we see this actioned?
I'm sure by next 3 months, this should be done. Identifying regions should not be any difficulty. Because
beyond the regions, the schools should be built, STEM and TVET model schools. So when should we see them happening?
I have just tackled the Islamic Senior High School, which is also a capital intensive. And I needed to go out there to seek for support, because government certainly will not be able to afford. So one thing at a time.
And then the government wants to commence an infrastructure upgrade of the Al Farouk College of Education.
I have done that. I managed to get that done through the collaboration with Get Fund.
So it has been upgraded?
As we speak now. When you get there, about, I think, 3-story teachers bungalow has been sent there. We have 6-unit classroom blocks that have been sent there by Get Fund. I think 4 infrastructure projects, and then they are waiting for their formula to be approved, and then the rest of it will also be sent. That has been done.
Number 6 is that you facilitate the accreditation of Islamic schools, such as the Institute of Islamic Research, to support training more Arabic teachers. Do we have enough?
We do, but let me make this clarification. It's not only the Zongo Development Fund that has that duty and responsibility to run some of these things. We have the inner city and Zongo Development run by a coordinator. So some of these issues fall under his this. So the issue of the Islamic accreditation falls under his jurisdiction.
Provide scholarships to Zongo and inner city students, particularly in the fields of law, medicine, engineering, and ICT.
That has been done under the previous regime, but since I assume because of we don't have the financing, we have not been able to. But on a personal level, yes, we help a few people, but we are yet to get this thing done.
The NDC government has, and this is to wrap up, maybe 2 more questions, quick fire questions. The NDC government has a lot of policies, initiatives for youth development, the National Apprenticeship Program, 1 million coders, a few others. How does it fit in the plan of the Zongo Development Fund?
So that is where the ZITCOM centers comes in. The ZITCOM centers, apart from being a library, both Islamic and then English, we are also going to have a training center established under it, where, you see, if you go to the Zongo community, you have these young men who are also patronizing internet cafes. When you find them there, they do nothing apart from doing fraud against these white people. This is a talent, if redirected, will become productive to the Zongo community. So at the ZIT Center, we intend to establish that secretariatship where we encourage these young men to participate in there. So this coding is coding, 1 million coding that the manifesto talks about. It's possible we can tap in their talent that they misdirected it in defrauding others, so that we can use it to train them to build something that will be productive to the community. And then the Zongo Fund can even benefit from it. So the ZCOM is actually going to help a lot. And if we are able to get that, even if it is 50 within the 50 Zongo communities, the impact will be huge.
So based on the needs of the Zongo communities and the expectations government has of you, don't you think it would be appropriate that instead of it being a fund or an agency, and I'm talking about the Zongo and inner city development thing, instead of it being like that, President Akufo-Addo, he built it as a ministry that meant a lot more resources. Don't you think that would be better so that you can be better at dealing with the challenges in your various communities?
I have argued in respect of these two institutions, and I have argued that President Akufo-Addo created it more or less as a political tool. But the NDC, we have no excuse, because the MPP and the President Akufo-Addo, they don't control and they have less influence within the Zongos, yet they've created these institutions. The NDC control the Zongo with deep influence politically. And so if we are not careful, these two institutions are likely to become an albatross on our neck, particularly when I look at the things that the Zongo Development Fund have been able to do over the years. I have argued that our laws, you see, the inner city and Zongo development, the fund is supposed to be an agency under that. But there is a conflict. The conflict has to do with the law, the Act of Parliament, and an executive instrument. In the hierarchy of laws, the Act of Parliament is superior than the executive instrument. And you are expected, the one mandated by the Act of Parliament, to report to an executive instrument. So I have argued that we need to look at it and re-engineer and change. Probably it will not be bad to make the inner city and Zongo development ministry, as it was under the President Akufo-Addo. It will help. And in fact, the one leading is a very experienced former MP of Kasua, very experienced, diligent. He understands the psyche of the Zongo community. So I would encourage the current regime. And John Mama, don't forget, is also even a Zongo man. And so he understands the crisis within the Zongo better than I do. And that is why in appointing, he carefully chose those who should lead the in fact, my board chairman, a Zongo man, very experienced man, is currently the chief of youth of Zongo in Greater Accra. And so you have the understanding that, yes, it is important to get the ministry back and then allow Baba Lami to head it so that the reporting structure will be okay. I always have a difficulty with him when I argue this way. And he thinks that I keep telling him that the act is superior than the executive instrument, so it becomes difficult to report. But on the basis of being an experienced person, an elderly brother, I have no difficulty going to report to him. But I think that we need to normalize it so that at least there will be no conflict in respect of the regulations.
Alaji, we have to go, but a few more basic needs such as education, healthcare in the communities, facilities. What's the plan like briefly?
Well, we have the mandate to make our resources available for provisions of critical infrastructure within the Zongo community.
You know that President Mahama, he complained about AstroTurf. He says that should not be the only thing.
That is why, you see, the AstroTurf is meant to generate revenue for the Zongo community. And so it is actually because of the generation of revenue. That is why the AstroTurf was being put up. But I think that apart from that, we need to critically also examine the needs. And fortunately for me, I have a crucial data in respect of the needs of the various communities. And in line with that data,
top 5.
We are likely going to look at it. Yes, education is critical.
Number 2.
As I have already indicated. Health
3
is critical because without security, is critical. And then entrepreneurship is critical.
Okay, and the 5?
The 5, change in their thinking. That's orientation.
Okay.
Because when if we are able to get all these 4 without the change in mindset,
it becomes counterproductive.
It becomes counterproductive.
They'll all go back to
exactly
how it was.
So we needed that much more, even than the.
How much is your allocation right now? How much was allocated for you in the budget?
For goods and services, 2.1.
2.1 million cedis.
Okay. Yes. For goods and services, we have never budgeted for CAPEX because we operate under Office of Government Machinery. Okay. So our CAPEX were consolidated. All the agencies operating under government machinery is there. So for instance, if you see me driving a new Land Cruiser, the fund isn't the one that bought it. Probably chief of staff.
For goods and services, that was what is budgeted for you. Have you received any so far?
Not for this year. Last year we budgeted for 1. I think there is. Last year was 1.1.
Okay, and
this year was 2.1.
Okay,
but the last year one, because my appointment delayed, the previous CEO was there, so he wasn't able to get any release.
Okay.
But as I speak to you now, one difficulty that is hanging on my neck is my rent. And let me tell you this, that amount that we are supposed to pay for rent, if I were to have that amount, I will not rent.
Rent as in what?
Office rent.
Office rent. Where's your office?
It's at Abelengpe.
Abelengpe.
Around the Canadian embassy.
Okay. How much is your rent?
$5,000 a month.
$5,000 a month.
And we have to pay 4 years, as agreed and signed by the previous CU. And so we are talking about 2.6. So that is even more than the budget for my goods and services.
So the Zongo Development Fund, you owe $5,000.
Yes.
A month.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the approximate value in cities. In cities, do you have an idea how much it will be?
It used to be 2.6 million when the rate was around 14.
Okay.
Now it's 10. So probably there will be a reduction. And so the landlord too is thinking that delay in paying is causing him because of the depreciation, the appreciation of the city. And so that is an issue.
So how will you pay?
Well, I'm engaging the chief of staff, and luckily last week we had a fruitful conversation, and he assured me just after this interview, I'm just going to walk into his office because he asked me to come back this week.
So if you don't pay, you'll be evicted, eh?
Certainly, the landlord will evict us.
So it's like 10.8 million cedis.
Yes.
So so we're talking about all the government installations, all the government building installations. Couldn't you get any of those places to work?
You know, that is one of the difficulties because the previous regime decided to use that
to rent. Okay.
That's what I'm saying, that under my leadership, it won't happen. I cannot understand why I would use close to 2-point-something million to give out for rent. Probably I'll use that money to build. And once you have that building, you are likely to also become a landlord on your own. As part of the internal generated. But once you build, you occupy a certain space, the rest of it you give out for rent.
How many years advance does your landlord take? I don't mean
we are to pay 4 years. That is the agreement. The previous CEO signed that, and in fact,
so I was asking this because if you're paying 4 years, if that's the agreement, the rent law does not allow you to pay more than 6 months.
That's the conflict, and so.
So if the landlord evicts you, where will you people be?
Well, I'm working on it. I'm sure we'll not get there.
But if you don't have right now,
I am sure we'll not get there. I am very convinced we'll not get there because, in fact, the response of the chief of staff is enough. In fact, he has virtually resolved the matter. He said I should come for the answers this week. So I'm sure we'll not get there.
But the people we are relying on to develop our zongos, they not the rent. How would they?
That's why I'm saying that in terms of thinking, I don't see why a CU will have the courage to even enter into such kind of agreement.
Okay.
That is where I found it a bit difficult, particularly when you need that amount of money to assist in the development of the Zongos. And so that is a confusion I am grappling with, and I still cannot understand. There's nothing that will convince me why I should use such kind of money and then just throw it out in the name of rent.
Alaji, who is the landlord? Or what's the company?
No, it's an individual. It's an old soldier. It's a retiree.
Retiree, yeah.
Yeah, it's an old soldier. A very straightforward man. In fact, I had an opportunity of meeting him. He's a straightforward man. When I look at him, I was thinking probably there is some dealings, etc. But when I had a conversation with him, this is not a man you can approach him with that kind of conduct. It won't work with him. So I just, in fact, earlier I was thinking of finding a way out of it. Thinking that probably it's one of the schemes that people sometimes institute to.
So there was a thinking
survive.
that maybe the former boss had something.
Yes, that was the thinking.
That's why it was $5,000.
But when I had the opportunity of engaging the man, looking at him, it's not the kind of person that would agree to do that. But I certainly have difficulty agreeing with the $5,000. But
so, how much do you think would be fair if you have to move to another place? How much rent are you willing to pay?
It's not about even fair. It's about getting your own, because at least as I speak to you now, the fund is struggling. Those that are operating within the region, we don't even have an office. I am now working to put up those facilities for them. So I have written to regional ministers to make some space available for my regional coordinators to have a place. Now, even getting them to validate them at the end of the month for their salary, sometimes it's a bit of a challenge.
So how long does it take before the validation? And so approximately how many months arrears sometimes do they not get their salary?
No, for salaries, our salaries have been mechanized. We are paid by controller and accountant general. So we don't have a problem with salaries. Unless maybe somebody misconducted himself, I decided to take actions against him.
Okay.
And then probably their salary is blocked or something. But all of the stuff, unfortunately for me, for some years now, they haven't experienced any promotions. And so there's some kind of despondency sort of. But I'm working around because there's an issue to do with fair wages commission. We need to get them to resolve certain difficulties. Then we can then be able to run the day. But I am eager to resolve all these issues. And because you see, when you have staff who are not motivated,
they won't work for you.
They won't work.
They'll pretend to be working.
Exactly. So my interest and my inclination is that it's important to encourage them. Encouragement is not only by way of even getting the money, but at least your relationship even with your staff is critical. And I think that so far, even though there are some difficult ones, but I think I'm up to the task and I'm dealing with the issues as expected by His Excellency, the President.
Alaji, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm most grateful for this
Alaji
opportunity.
Halidu Haruna is the Chief Executive Officer of the Zongo Development Fund, the agency tasked with driving development in Zongo and other disadvantaged communities in Ghana. He sat with us. This is still Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We're back with some more conversations. The extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta. There's a group demonstrating right now. The American Embassy, the U.S. Embassy. We'll talk about that and then some other stories and some other subjects here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Give us a minute. We're back with more.
Sunrise on 3FM. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning. The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
Demonstration at the United States Embassy in Accra. The participants include civil society activists and supporters of the campaign, many wearing red and black attire with protest placards. They're calling on U.S. government and Ghanaian authorities to ensure the return of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta so he can face ongoing legal investigations and charges. They want the U.S. Embassy to support or facilitate his return or his extradition to Ghana. You know already that Ken Ofori-Atta is in court today in the U.S. Let's cross over to the U.S. Embassy now, where my colleague Christian Yale is engaging with some of the protesters and listen to what they're saying.
In an interview. Thank you very much.
And so that is it. Salom is one of the lead conveners of Arise Ghana who are embarking on this protest this morning. In fact, he tells me that their petition is one of an oral status and that they are going to bring pressure to bear. In fact, Arise Ghana itself is a pressure group. And so when you look here, you would realize that this is a bold statement that has been made on this floor, which reads, "Bring Ken back. Bring Ken back." That is the kind of, protest they are making. That is the kind of demand that Arise Ghana is making this morning right in front of the U.S. Embassy. I can talk to you also about the fact that there are police personnel, members of the security who are all over this place ensuring that there is utmost and enough security provided. And so Anita, Roland and team, that is the situation right here. The protest is currently underway. Music, placards, and everything indicates that they want Ken Ofori-Atta back. Back to you in studio. We are back at midday with a lot more exclusive details of this protest, which is demanding the deportation, like they say, or extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana to face justice. Back to you in studios.
3FM Sunrise.
Holding right now just opposite or in front of the U.S. Embassy in Accra. Indeed, we know that today Ken Ofori-Atta is expected in a U.S. court to answer to some questions over his immigration status over there. Over the period, we know that he has been in ICE detention. We've heard from his lawyers telling us that indeed, when you look at his cooperation, it has been one of the best over the period, and that Ken Ofori-Atta has been cooperating very much with law enforcement agencies in the United States of America. Now you can hear in your background songs that are being played. In fact, earlier when I arrived here, there was a song playing that "Bring Back Ken Ofori-Atta." Now they are playing Come Back to Me by one of the popular musicians that you know of, Lucky Mensa. And so that is the situation here. Very shortly, I'm going to engage some of the conveners of the protests by Arise Ghana. In fact, Ken Ofori-Atta is facing a number of charges including his role played in a number of transactions. Popular amongst them is the SML contract with the GRA. We also know about the National Cathedral, which has been a bone of contention over the period, among other alleged financial irregularities. And so his appearance before the U.S. court today, among many other things, would determine whether he is extradited to Ghana. But let me engage Selom quickly on this. Selom, so you are live on TV3 New Day. You are making a protest today to demand the extradition or deportation of Ken Ofori-Atta, so to speak. How does the U.S. Embassy in Ghana play a role in this?
Okay, as you speak now, the fate of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is being determined by the U.S. government, not the Ghana government, because Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is in the United States. So it is only the United States government that can determine his fate. As to whether Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta will be brought to Ghana, it is in the domain of the United States government. It's not Ghana. That is why we are here. We deem it fit that we draw the attention of the American embassy to the fact that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is of high interest here in Ghana, because somebody who occupied the position of Minister for Finance and Economic Planning. He took decisions that were injurious to the economic well-being of some Ghanaians. He signed contracts that were shady. He signed contracts that were dubious. So he has the opportunity now to account to the good people of Ghana by answering all the charges, all the allegations, all the accusations, the charges that are being leveled against him. This is the opportunity.
But Selom, today, for instance, we know that he is going to face a U.S. court, after which decision we get to know the exact wording on his immigration status and possible extradition to Ghana. Why don't you wait for all of these processes to be exhausted before you embark on this protest?
There is nothing that says that if somebody is standing the ICE trial or is under ICE detention, you cannot picket the American embassy. There's no law in Ghana that says that. What we're doing is to bring pressure to bear on the authorities, both Ghana and the American government, that no, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is standing trial, and back home there's a picket again about him.
What is your next line of action after here?
That is not something that Arise Ghana is ready to disclose here, because it's like a warfare. What you do is that you must always try to know the weapon, the arsenal of your opponent, so you can also prepare sufficiently. So it will not be good or wise or prudent on our part.
But are you expected to submit a petition of the sort?
We are by doing this thing, we are submitting a petition. Maybe you want to ask me whether we have a written petition. Okay. We have an oral one, and that is what we are doing by engaging you media guys in an interview. All right, thank you very much.
And so that is it. Selom is one of the lead conveners of Arise Ghana, who are embarking on this protest this morning. In fact, he tells me that their petition is one of an oral status, and that they are going to fight the war.
And co-convener of the group Arise Ghana. It is currently ongoing at the American Embassy here in Accra. As he goes to court. Lawyer Austin Bracco Powers is joining us now. Counsel, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, my brother. How you are doing well?
I'm very fine, thank you. How are you?
We are blessed.
Nice, good to know. It's a big day for Ken Ofori-Atta today in the United States. We know the journey we've traveled from and up until where we've gotten to, but explain to us what is likely to happen in court today in the U.S.
So I think we must be able to draw the line between immigration matters, which Ken is currently facing, and the extradition process, which Ghana has initiated. But it is important to say that the appearance of Ken in court today has nothing to do with the extradition process. It has more to do with the immigration process. In fact, it is important to put across that as at 31st of December 2025, the United States government had revoked over 100,000 visas of immigrants. So they had revoked visas of over 100,000 immigrants, and Ken happened to be one of them. So I feel uncomfortable when some elements in this government make it seem or appear as though it is the work of the Attorney General that led to the arrest and possibly the appearance of Ken before the court today. It has nothing to do with that, and we must be able to put the matters in their proper perspective. The thing is that the extradition process started in December, and if you are well aware, you will know that the extradition process for that of Ferdinand Tamaku, the former Maslog boss, was initiated somewhere June, July 2024, and Ferdinand report about her arrest was released this month. So how many years? Nearly 2 years. It took nearly 2 years for even Ferdinand Tamaku, who has been jailed, to be arrested for possible extradition process to commence. And she's yet to have a day in court. So the appearance of Ken in court today has more to do with the immigration matters. And you know, as part of the broader U.S. policy of keeping America safe, they have attempted to revoke visas of over 100,000 people whom they are convinced that they had issues. They have legal issues that need to be cleared. So on that basis, they decided to revoke their visas. And Ken was one of them. So he's going to justify why possibly his visas will have to be reinstated or it should not be repatriated. And the thing too is this: if Ken is denied opportunity in the court, or if the court did not find favor with his argument, Ken has possible options. And coming to Ghana is not one of them. So sometimes I feel when I've heard the Deputy Attorney General say that Ken will come to Ghana and they will get him. But the thing is that Ken has visas from other countries, or he has visas of other countries. So if you decide if you want to go to Canada, go to any other country, that means that Ghana will then have to initiate the extradition process for those and send them to those countries. So his appearance in court has virtually nothing and absolutely nothing to do with the extradition process.
If it happens, I'm saying if it happens that the outcome of today's engagement in court or whenever date a determination will be is that he be brought back home or he be deported based on his visa consent, that means he'll be brought back to Ghana directly, doesn't it?
No. That's what I'm saying, that conclusion is so simplistic. And I've heard Attorney General and the Deputy draw this conclusion. Draw this particular conclusion. It's too simplistic. Now, here's this argument. They are well aware that Ken has visas of other countries, including Canada. And usually, if you have monitored and followed the U.S. immigration matters, you will notice that usually, unless you don't have any option, then they will send you back to any member country. So, for instance, Ghana will become an entry point for West African nationals. We have opted to receive West African nationals. Then we use a backdoor and forcibly send them to their respective countries, which I don't think was part of the agreement we have with them. But that is beside the point. The argument is that Ken has visas of Canada and other countries. So he could well tell them that I want to go to Canada, or send me to Canada, send me to UK, send me to France, or send me to Netherlands. He has the options because he has visas of those countries. So Ghana will be the last choice or last option Ken will settle for or will settle on. Because already this is a government that has shown that's antagonistic toward you. This is a government that has described you as a criminal. This is a government that is coming for you. In fact, the government has created the atmosphere for what we are experiencing now. If Ken is lethargic to come to Ghana, it's because of the atmosphere created by elements of this government. Because they created the impression that they are after him, when we know that it is only a court of competent jurisdiction as opportunity and the appropriate powers to declare a person criminal. This government, through the Attorney General, has succeeded in maligning and criminalizing Ken Ofori-Atta when a court has not had opportunity to do so. And he has not even been heard. In fact, he has been pronounced a criminal in our minds, in the minds of many Ghanaians, to the point that Ghanaians today don't know why Ken has refused to come. When, in fact, they have not been given the opportunity to interrogate why this government has created the situation we find ourselves. I think it is the government that has created the situation. Ken would have come to Ghana. In fact, if you investigate me and you draw conclusions, it doesn't mean that I'm criminal. But if your actions contradict what even what the constitutional provision says, particularly when you read Article 19, it says a person is innocent until properly and appropriately declared as not so, or until that innocence is contradicted by evidence in court. But this government, surprisingly, has succeeded in describing Ken as criminal before he has yet to even have his day in court. So he has options, and I don't think Ghana will be part of the options. He will go to anywhere. So those who are hoping that Ken will come to Ghana and they will arrest him at the airport, Kotoka or so, are just finding themselves, and they are taking themselves and laughing in the wrong direction. Because Ken is looking at what the impression the government has created in the minds of Ghanaians and what they are doing to tarnish his image. And if you want to come to, in fact, let's not go far. Look at what they have done to some former appointees of the opposition New Patriotic Party. Some of them were given, irreconcilable and even huge bail conditions that even beats the imagination of ordinary Ghanaians. These are things done to deter even people who ordinarily want to submit themselves to the appropriate legal processes. So Ken will not. I don't think coming to Ghana is one of the options he will want to exercise.
I see. So the special prosecutor, the Attorney General, all their excitement, it could be short-lived.
No, it's obviously. I think they should do the permutation. These are lawyers, and some of them they've been in the field for so many years. They should do the permutation. This is someone who has multiple visas. He has visas of different countries. And if you are looking at the way that the office of the special prosecutor, particularly the special prosecutor himself, look at the way he conducted himself with regard to Ken Ofori-Atta. Listing him on Interpol red notice, they listing him, then later listing him, going to court, then later he was even called upon to go to court or try him in absentia. He said, no, I need him. And he was not coming. Now he decided to go to court. In fact, when you look at the process, the trajectory, it should be probably clear to you that these are people who may have the new matters, but their approach to handling the matter may have created an impression that they have already drawn a conclusion. So even if you are submitting yourself to lawful custodial authority, they will deal with you in matters or in instances where you even lose your life.
I see. And finally from me, and the approach that we have adopted in dealing with this matter, does it have any influence in the thinking of the authorities in the United States?
Yes, it does. In fact, it is important to point out that the U.S. processes are not simplistic as we have it in Ghana. And I have maintained that our extradition process is too simplistic. You can be hauled before a court today, and tomorrow you find your way to U.S. or you will be on the first plane to U.S. But then the U.S. authorities are very conscious about matters like human rights and political persecution. In fact, the situation that I said this government has succeeded in creating, it is that the government has created a situation that what they are doing is political persecution or political persecution. So and Ken is a key figure of the previous government. And I was expecting that if you want to bring him, or if you want him to account for some of the transactions he partook in, your manner of approach should be decent and should be decorum, should be one that conforms to the provisions of the Constitution. But organizing press conferences, maligning him in the public, describing him as criminal, and telling Ghanaians that he is needed, he has refused to come. These are matters when Ken has not even written to the OSP or even the Attorney General saying that I was not coming to Ghana. But the politicians for whom they are and for what they believe in, for what they have always been, that they are stuck in train has been to create confusion in the minds of Ghanaians. So they succeeded in telling Ghanaians that Ken doesn't want to come. So if Ken doesn't want to come, now he's criminal. He's running away from justice. It's a fugitive. In fact, when you monitor this story and you look at the trajectory, it is to the effect that the government has created the impression that they are coming after Ken not because he has done anything wrong, but because he was a key figure in the opposition party. And the U.S. authorities will look at matters like that and decide on whether or not they will really extradite Ken to Ghana or not. And I think personally, looking at where I sit and looking at some of the cases I've involved and even read, I don't think it will be too easy for Ghana to get Ken to this country. It won't be easy, and I don't think it is even possible for Ken to come to Ghana.
Austin, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Austin Bracco Powers is a private legal practitioner speaking with us there. Bust your bubble, but if you're amongst those who are keeping your fingers crossed that today is the day that Kenneth Fureta will face U.S. court and then eventually come back to Ghana, it may not be as easy as you're thinking.
I'm a human being in Africa.
But of course, we'll be updating you how the journey will go today in the U.S.
In England.
Different of what it is happening in Ghana.
Down to Suriname. Taking from my motherland. Don't forget your mother.
But how one is happening can influence one. Is that his case will be heard at the Annandale Immigration Court in Virginia, and Kenneth Fureta will join the hearing virtually from his detention. That's what we understand, that he will join the hearing virtually. We have to go. So before we go, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to those of you who are celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to Bless. Happy birthday, Edem Kojo of Mega. May God bless you and keep you on this new year from your wife and kids. Happy birthday to you, Edem Kojo of Mega. And happy birthday to you, Priscilla Dede Agbedem. Happy birthday to you, Priscilla Dede Agbedem at KJB Health Center from Husband and Children. If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you as well. Happy belated birthday to you, Alice Odro. May God bless your new year. My name is Noble Crosby, and Sunrise will be back on your radio tomorrow at 6. News at 10 is up next. 6 don't Ulu allow Christabel Sasses Trevor to come and read the news. Allow the lady to come and read the news. The lady has come to read the news. You are there. You won't come and talk. I'll be and play song. We have closed. Bye bye.